Mm.
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 Huh. Huh.
Mm.
Huh. Huh.
Well, welcome you all people to our latest edition. It's Cow and Uplam casting for you guys. The second semi-final between Louis and DeMu.
Ben is excited. I am excited.
Yeah, and I'm excited as well. Like, we're really looking forward to these players playing their best game. We're having a game on Byzantines, I see, and we got Delhi against Malians. What do you think about that matchup?
I really like it. I think it's a really, really fun matchup. It used to be a little bit more one-sided than it is right now. ProScout definitely having a little bit to do with that. But Ben is a really, really he really, really likes to play. He really, really likes to play the Mali, right? Which makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, he's kind of a, I don't know what you can say, almost like a slow player. And as Askeladd is pointing to us through the interwebs and through, you're really bad at this, aren't you? It's right there.
Yeah.
7,300. What's the goal currently at? 8,000? 8,000. All right. If we hit 10,000, I'll shave my head.
How
okay?
many cents?
69.
69 cents. It's $7,300. 69 cents. That's gotta be a coincidence.
I don't think so. Can someone check the battery to make sure that that is actually, because I'm pretty sure somebody intentionally downloaded some cents to make that very nice. Anyways, we are going to be loading into our first game. Byzantines once again. It's a fun little place to start at, and we are loading in Louis here, spawning in the left side, picking Delhi, getting that one through, and DeMu getting Mali. Now, Delhi used to be a little bit strong on this map, right? Sacred Side was a lot closer than it is right now. However, that has changed just the tiniest bit. And also one thing, we didn't really talk about this in draft. I talked a little bit about it with Balltune before the start of the series. Sushi has come through. Louis managed to snag that one up, and DeMu managed to snag up the Ruse.
Oh, wow.
So Sushi Ruse is on the table. We've pretty much seen that be permabanned the entire tournament. I'm excited to see where that one goes.
Ruse and Sushi were like treated the same way like Jiggly. We didn't want to see them.
Yeah.
But Louis and DeMu, they're inviting them to the Garrison. We tried as well with Jiggly, but they didn't want to come. But still, we're gonna see some Sushi action or some Ruse action because the civs are just so good right now. But in this specific match, like the Delhi versus Malian, I always love to be the Delhi on the side because you can be so aggressive and you can put up so much pressure on their pit mines. And we're seeing a Dome of the Fate coming up for Louis.
Yeah, no real surprise. I mean, getting this mass Gazi play against the Mali and getting that early aggression is quite nice. And remember as well, right, Delhi has cheap, or I should say free upgrades, and they're quite slow. However, being able to get out that pro scat just a little bit quicker does help to secure yourself. And you do get a lot of map control very quickly with that mass Gazi, right? So it is certainly a play we could actually be going for.
Yeah, and I already love seeing the players on the player camps. Like, they're focused, they're ready to play. We're enjoying to have Louis here right now. This is his first offline event. I'm curious about how he's gonna handle the pressure of being on stage in an offline event. Like how is he in a mentally state? Which mentally state he's in?
So remember, this is actually just his second game on stage. Remember, he was playing the one of the opening matches off stream. I believe Lash casted that one, and I think maybe Alyona did as well. So if you want to go back and look at the VODs for that one, you should definitely be checking out their channels. Now, he did say in the interview we had, and we talked a little bit, he is a little bit nervous, right? Having a camera on him helps, or doesn't help with the nervousness at all, and also playing on LAN. But remember, like, one of the things that he just enjoys himself so much is actually just not playing with any lag, which I think everyone enjoys.
Yeah. Everyone's still talking about like this special moment that they can play Louis without lag, you know, not having to play on an India server, not having to play with 200 ping, but like in real life without any delays.
Yeah, and one of the things that is actually worth noting, right, is that if you look at what DeMu is doing right now, he's going wheelbarrow, he's going double broad axe, and the reason for that is I don't think he necessarily expects to be able to be getting pro scouted that quickly, mainly because Delhi is very slow in getting that. So he can be a lot more greedy, get wheelbarrow, get the eco upgrades, and then potentially going into a pro scout if he so chooses to. Because look, Louis is just about to finish wheelbarrow and now pro scout, and I believe it's at 3 minutes and 52 seconds-ish?
Yeah, well,
Please
maybe the
double-check me on
observer
that
can
one,
like hold his mouse above the pro scouts, and then
Yeah.
we know like 3 minutes and 38 seconds
I
left.
said 52 and it took a little bit, so I'm damn right on that one.
Yeah,
I
very,
played
very
that one
good.
too much.
very well. But like the problem or the worries that I have if I'm the Malian guy, we got so many Ghazi on the field so quickly because you put a scholar on that stable with the efficient production tech. They produce twice as fast because you get a 100% boost on that stable, and before you know it, you got 4 Ghazi surrounding your scout. Even with warrior scout, it will still drop like flies.
Yeah, and walls going up as well, barracks, archery range, so actually it seems to not be going into pro scout whatsoever. Does get forestry though, which do you actually remember what forestry does?
You can chop a tree faster.
Yeah, so it takes 4 chops in total for a tree to actually start being gatherable, like to chop it down. Forestry makes it 2, and do you know what improved forestry does for Mongols?
1
1. So
makes
instantly
1
chop it.
tick. So that's like Mongols and improved forestry on Oasis. You know that was
That was
heaven on earth.
Oh, heaven on earth. Ah, good times. Anyways, yeah, so walls going up for DeMu, making sure he's playing a little bit of secure in the back there. Eco upgrades coming through as well, just making sure that everything is going nice and smooth.
Louis with his black make starting the 1 attack upgrade first.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a spicy choice, as to say. And Ghazi thinking about diving that wood line, but getting chased back by the TC. But it seems Louis is prioritizing that 1 damage on his Ghazi before any ranged defense or ranged attack. He doesn't have any ranged units yet, but usually you go into these archers and the scouts getting attacked, is getting poked a lot by those Ghazis, and Danzo's chasing them away, throwing spears at them like, leave our scout alone.
We want our sheep back home. Anyways, so the reason I'm saying, by the way, that melee damage is not that good for Ghazi is that it doesn't actually help you that much, and you'd much rather get the +1 ranged armor, so you can potentially get a little bit of extra time and take less damage underneath the TC. Now, obviously, if you have the awareness to actually be pulling back low HP Ghazis and be healing them, I still think that maybe +1 ranged armor is better than actually going. Sir. Wait, is he actually standing? Okay, I think he was standing on Sacred Side. But yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of getting the +1 range, melee damage first. Makes sense if you want to be very aggressive though.
Yeah, it's more about like the 1 damage or the 1 range defense. You both can say, yeah, it's just both +1, so what does it matter? But it's more like the percentage-wise issue. And oh, Sacred Site getting taken just before the scouts get on it, and another Sacred Site already takes it. It's 2 Sacred Sites for Louis. But what I was telling, like if you have 5 ranged attack, and it becomes 1 less, you reduce 20% of the damage. And Scholar getting a lot of spears thrown to his head, and more spears. And Javelin throwing against the Scholar as well. It's really low HP and Scholar's down. That's heavy loss.
To begin with, it's really, really brave to go for that Sacred Site. It's effectively in your opponent's base, right? So it's right there, and Mali, one of those civs that don't actually want to move that far out of your base immediately before you're actually kind of ready to move out. Now we do have 5 cows in cattle ranches, or at least 5 cows made. How many of them is cattle ranches is a little bit of a different question though. But is getting a lot of value at this attempted raid, and DeMu was able to pick it up, was able to divert and pull back his villagers quickly enough for that.
Yeah, he still didn't lose any villages, and Louis didn't as well, but Blue is more the aggressive one in this certain state of the game. but Louis losing a lot of units, and that's the hard part of being aggressive. That's the difficult part. If you're aggressive, more Donzos, but the villager going back. That villager has balls and is gonna pay with his life.
And that is actually even the funny thing about that is actually that's the first thing that Louis has actually destroyed. Like that was the first thing that has been killed. Now the Gauzy mass is looking pretty solid for Louis. Has a lot of scholars out on the field as well, but the archer number is not that great. Javelin numbers the same as archers, not something you like to see if you are playing that archer Civ, but he is double producing them. He has 2 archer ranges, as Askeladd was showing us, so that mass should be going up pretty quickly for them.
Yeah, we want like a big mass of archers, like at least like 10 or 11 archers. You can one-shot Donzos with less, but you have to take into account once you're engaging, you're also gonna lose a couple of archers, and you want to keep one-shotting the Donzos as long as possible. And we see this raid coming in, a lot of guys going for those villagers pulling back off, and another spear being thrown against them, and they're being chased away.
Yeah, and you can see the positioning of DeMu's army here. It's crucial. He is having those spears just sitting on a position that is very attackable. Remember, he has mauled the back of his base, right? So he can't be attacked from that. He's going to get an attack notification. Can't be attacked from the front because there's a lot of landmarks there. There's a wood line, and then the Tease is going to start shooting. So the only thing that actually is going to be any sort of pressure on him is that gold vein, which he is protecting so nicely with those Donzos.
Yeah, and Demo really wants both gold mines to be up, or both pit mines to be up, because it gives a lot of passive income. But seeing at the spawn, like one pit mine is on the left side of the base, the other's on the right side of the base. So it's a little bit more difficult protecting them both, because you got a pretty slow army composition with the Donzos and Javelin throws. So you have to go from the left and to right, and you're going up and down, trying to defend it as best as possible. So we see Louis running around, trying to find some openings to get some value from all those Gauzies. He already has 17 Gauzies, that's 1700 food already invested. Being scouted out, Scout barely gets away. It's another opponent, he doesn't get away. That's another scout down. But DeMu has the information he needs. He knows those scouts are there and they're trying to cut him off. He's splitting his army. He's going to the left side to cut their escape route, but he decides to go back like, it's not worth it. It's too far out of my base, and I don't want to overextend because there are a lot of archers coming in as well. It's a Kiljardy raid right there.
It's a Kiljardy raid. Could have picked up a cow if you wanted to. House learning going up as well, though. It's going to be making sure that these archers actually make it out alive. Needs to be pulling back just a little bit here as well, though. But the army for DeMu is looking pretty strong, but as well, Delhi with these 2 sacred sites, one of them practically for free, right? Gets a lot of villas as well for free, kind of matching the pit mines that's coming through as well. Still looking for some raids on the back here, though, as there was a lot of army in the front, but it just doesn't know that there's so much more.
It's just so predictable. Like, that's the only point of attack for Louis, and every time he goes back in on the same position, and DeMu knows, like, that's the only vulnerable spot in my base right now, so I'll just defend him with a couple of Donzos, and he'll be trying to keep coming and trying to pick off some vills, but oh, that's a cow down.
Seems to be running out of food here. So remember, he hasn't pro-scouted, right? So he has to start moving out on his map. Is able to eat a lot of those cows for that good food. Makes a good burger. Not playing China here, though. But needs to be careful now not to lose these villagers out on the fields here, though. Age up notification has gone through, so it's going to take a little bit while for the upgrades to come through. I'm not too sure how many he has garrisoned. Should be 5 or so. Garrison is picking up these relics quite quickly, though. So that gold income should be skyrocketing, even though we lost the sacred set in the middle. Now needs to be careful not to be losing too much more without getting his upgrades first.
Yeah, that's such a nice. We're gonna an engagement here. The archers are gonna chase those Donzos away. We're gonna have this back and forth with the javelin throwers against those archers. But Scholar walking into the stealth force, probably not gonna get spotted out, but it's dangerously close. Louis trying to protect this out as best as he can. He doesn't want to lose anything that's not needed. He wants to preserve as much resources as he can. And meanwhile, we see the upgrades coming in at the back, because those upgrades, they take a little bit more time, but they're free. And that's the fun thing about Delhi. Like when you age up, you already can send your scholars out to all of the relics because you got a lot of scholars. You immediately can take back all those relics. It's just you need a little bit of time before your upgrades kick in.
Yeah, and I actually do really like what the first upgrade that Louis has coming in as well, though. I think it is really, really spicy, and we'll see if that one actually helps as well. Looking what DeMu is aging up with right now makes a lot of sense considering what is on the field too. And what isn't on the field, or, well, fields, branches. I really like this, though. I think this could be a really potent attack and needs to make sure. And remember, Malians doesn't have crossbows, so dealing with these very, very tanky elephants makes it quite hard. Normally we see poison archers is a good option against them, but maybe poison jabs with those upgraded could work quite well as well. And especially considering that the first upgrade Louis is getting is perfectly countered by these javelins. It feels like maybe, potentially even that the first upgrade coming through in the House of Wisdom, or sorry, House of Learning is wasted almost.
Yeah, but still, like, I like his funky choices. Like, we don't really appreciate Louis being here because he's such a nice and friendly guy, and it's fun to socialize with him. But he's also making in-game decision of meta. In-game decision, we got a raid of the night on the gold fields, and that's one field already going down. Second field getting chopped away. DeMu's not noticing yet. He's controlling his army. He wants to get some value against those Ghazi, and another field goes down. How many fields on gold is that already? It's like 4 or 5 or 6. And he's going on in the night. He doesn't know how to relent. He's chopping and chopping.
Notifications.
Oh my god, this is brutal.
Finally he catches it. Attack notification was coming in. There's just so many attack notifications happening at the same time. Sacred Side, all of these kind of just masking it. Now, fight happening in the middle. Archers are upgraded to the veteran variety. Has that extra range, makes it easier to kite it just a little bit. Javelins on the front, though, is tanking up a lot of the damage that's happening. Splitting the Ghazis, trying to get them away from the upgraded Donsos as well. Trying to see if he can get any charge coming in. But the micro here from the Malians is really, really nice. And every shot that they are taking, they're getting 3-4 units potentially lower and lower with that poison jabs. This is just a slow drain for both of these players, and I'm not sure who's coming out on top.
Even if Louis doesn't come out on top, he's still in a defensive position. His reinforcements can still help, but the micro is amazing. Like, he had Ghazis on both flanks. He's got Ghazis behind. He wanted to surround those javelin throws. Meanwhile, DeMu was splitting his Donzo in 3 different groups as well. While also microing his javelin throws. Amazing game played by those quick hands of both players. But the 11 villagers on gold, that's devastating.
Yeah, I need to be careful here, though. A lot of food is underneath that TC. It's trying to charge back in, though. Horn Blades has come through as well. So these Lancers are going to be doing that extra bit of damage. And look at this. Every time these jabs get one throw off, the Lancers that's supposed to counter them is just taking so much damage. And basically they're getting one shot as well, as DeMu has not deviated a single time away from his core composition. Donzo jabs.
Yeah, it's so difficult to connect with those ranged units like these improved javelin throws or longbowmen in general. Like, even though you're making the counter unit, either horsemen, Ghazi Raider, knights, it's still difficult to get on top of them. But we're seeing a keep with 3 villages. No more villages are coming in. We're seeing a desperate keep coming up, trying to protect his base. Meanwhile, we got the cavalry running out. Just pushing those javelin throws out of sight, the range that they can keep, so the villagers can work, still build on it. We got archers shooting away at those Donzos, and it's kiting back and forth. We see a lot of army dying, we see a house on fire. We also got a knight again on a pit mine, and there's just 2 villages that's probably gonna go, oh no, the knight ignores them. He's like, yeah, I can let you guys go.
All army hotkey. Yeah, no, that keep is very crucial for actually stopping a little bit of the bleed that Louis has, though. A lot of infrastructure was around that keep as well, and making sure that his TC is nice and safe. And it also allows him to get village fortresses quite quick, considering the scholar amount he actually has now. Now, DeMu is seeing if he can find something else elsewhere on the map to bypass that keep just a little bit. You can see that the knight in the picture gets decimated pretty damn quickly. Now, where does Louis end up getting something? Now, Village Fortress is getting in quite quickly here.
Yeah, Louis already killed so many vills that he's comfortable with going in a more defensive position. He still has the Shaker side pretty close to his base, which is really difficult to contest for DeMu. He has to go all the way around. We see another attack notification on the gold vein. Probably more knights, yeah, more knights or Ghazis trying to raid those villages that are trying to build up that third pit mine for even more passive income for our Malian player.
Yeah, and we are getting that keep coming in as well, right? One of the main reasons for that is slowing down the game, right? He understands that DeMu's eco right now is not the best. It's still... remember, it's not a Grand Fulani Corral setup that's happening right now. There's a couple in the ranches that's going to be helping out just a little bit, but Louis is on that fire relics, and we could see this potentially be going to some spicy deli late game elephants.
Oh yeah, we all see some walls coming up, some farms in the back for Louis. He's got it walled off, but the javelin throwers are just throwing their spears over the wall, and one is down. That's a Vil down. Quickly. Yeah, they're garrisoning inside the houses. Like, if I'm afraid, I'll go home as well.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Still cheating, not going inside of the house.
Yeah, but we see some farms coming up around those keeps as well, because once you research Village Fortress, the keep acts as a town center, so you can also drop off resources at it.
Yeah. It's quite nice having that upgrade. Just the main thing you gotta remember, which often I get burnt on myself, if you catch my pun. It's getting boiling oil first and then making villagers after, and delays your villagers quite a bit.
Yeah, if you're a big fan of medieval movies, you know, you always see those people throwing oil on top of the gates on those people and then setting it on fire. It really helps a lot, and the same goes for AoE 4. Boiling oil, you can't really burn down the keep anymore with Malians. They just take so much damage. You really gonna need siege then. But the most raids of them are getting cleaned up. Louis trying to raid him himself, but also walling off the right side of his base.
Yeah, and this is something he does really, really well. Scouts make sure where the army is, and then he goes to wall when it's safe to make sure that he can secure that position even further. Remember, it's a lot of space that he gets with that. It's not a lot of resources necessarily. It is a little bit of the farms being secured, but it is the space that he needs to set up the farms, that he needs to set up the wood. That is what he needs. The scouts are just so good as well there for Louis, just making sure that he is able to spot the army and save this color. Never mind.
Oh, the scholar still went down, but by securing those space in the map, you're kind of forcing your opponent to go on the map in a position on places where you know he's gonna be. So you got some information about the movements of your opponent's army, and you can easily defend yourself. We see another knight party coming in. It's gonna meet up with a couple of javelin throwers from DeMu there instantly, and Donzo's also going to those knights saying, we don't want you here right now, go away, go back to your base, because we want to attack you.
There's like 6 javelin throwers that was just hitting that, and that knight almost goes down. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the poison. It's the poison.
It's the poison. I still tried to do it against the English and I still died, but I mean, it helps that the English I was playing against was wham. But yeah, I mean, the army mass of Louis and DeMu right now is looking pretty solid for both of them. Their eco numbers quite low. Remember, these are passive eco saves.
Oh yeah, and we are like hear Chris talk about it a lot, like how do you want to pick your poison? Well, DeMu's choosing for those javelin throws because it's 3 damage every 5 seconds, if I'm correct, and she's got 62. Yeah, 3 times every 6 seconds. So, and still 63 javelin throws times 3. That's more than over 180 damage that you get in for free.
Now one villager. It's maybe gonna go down. Never mind. My click was there. So, moving forward here a little bit. Louis doesn't have any sacred site control, doesn't have any map control really, except for the back of his base that he has such extended out. 2 walls are going to be targeted down just a little bit, and there's still no siege on the field for either of these players, which I feel is really, really weird. And look at that, we might actually have a potential tech switch coming in from DeMu here, though, which could be really interesting. But the scholar numbers as well for Louis is absolutely mental, all things considered. Is able to pick up a couple of villagers in the picture-in-picture there, fighting the army at the same time. Needs to make sure that the archer mass that he has right now does not get caught out of place, however, though, because if he does lose that, it's going to be pretty damn brutal to come back from, but he is going to be doing a little bit of a run by here, trying to burn down the wall and see if he can get in to actually get some more damage on this one, because if he's able to get a little bit of eco damage on this one, it's going to help quite a bit with the trade, but he is running away. Could this be a clash coming in from all sides, though? There's no reinforcements going to be joining him, though. I'm not sure about this. Archers needs to be trading away as efficiently as possible. A little bit of a raid coming in from DeMu at the same time in the back. It's going to be cleaned up quite quickly.
Yeah, that's what our observers pointing out really well. There's happening so many things on the map at the same time. Like with the split army, we got an army up top that's fighting and killing villages on the farms. It's cleaned up right now. We also had Louis on the whole other side of the map. Like I was like that army could be very, very vulnerable. It's gonna be trapped if he doesn't care. But DeMu's finding that army once again, engaging, and the top side of the army going for that army of Louis in the middle. They're just splitting their attention on the whole map on all different sides.
Yeah, and this is kind of it, right? Like, Louis hasn't been able to put down another keep anywhere, right? Normally we'd maybe put it one of the stone veins, maybe potentially even some of the big golds that we have right now. Good raids coming in as well. Louis able to make DeMu bleed just a little bit here, not bleeding too much himself, but remember, eco count is where it is at. It is a passive income, so it doesn't hit that hard when it comes to anything but damage coming in here. There's so many fights happening all at the same time, and I've seen Louis play this quite often, and a couple of times from his own POV as well. He oftentimes in these stages of the game doesn't actually have any control groups.
Oh, no, but it's so difficult to put armies into the control groups. You can't like put your knights in number 1 and your archers in number 2, because your units are all over the map. You can like make a control group for those units like on specific spots of the map, like give 1 to your left side, 2 in the middle, 3 in the right side. But then still it's really hard to micro, because if you're doing an attack move with your third army, you still want the archers to hit the spears, or you still want your horsemen to connect with javelin throws. So it's such an intense micro that's needed to control all those armies effective.
Yeah, and that is where the APM comes in, right? That's when the awareness, the shift clicking, all of that comes through as well. Numbers looking pretty solid for DeMu as well. Tithe Barn's first upgrade coming in, all of the eco upgrades coming in as well. Elephants.
Yeah, Louis reaching Imperial with how many scholars? 30 scholars.
He's gonna be pretty happy with that one. Does he have anything Garrison inside? Ironically, considering we're at the Garrison, nothing Garrison.
He just needs those frost colors in the Garrison. That makes the tower elephants so much quicker. They come out so much quicker. It's a really big value, and immediately Louis listens. It's like he's hearing us, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Might be hearing us, but I'm not sure if he's understanding us. His English is actually pretty decent, all things considered.
Oh yeah. I agree. Like if you just have a chat with him, you like sit next to him and talk about the game, he can really explain why he makes certain decisions or how certain Civ matchups works. And when I picked him at the hotel as well, like he could really explain how the trip went.
Yeah, it was really nice, but the amount of upgrades. At some point you start, how many upgrades can you actually be getting at once? And the answer is yes. Actually, I should maybe check how many upgrades can you have active at once as the Delhi Sultanate. Or it could be really funny. Anyways, first elephant should be popping out any second now. Should be popping out and having a little bit of fun at those jabs. Remember, they have a lot of ranged armor, but this is not ranged damage they are doing. They are doing hand cannon damage. And look at this damage it's doing as well. And taking, not the least, from those poison jabs, now doing damage, cleaning up the raids in the back here. The idle count, though, is up to 53 there for a little moment, and everything goes back to normal for just a little bit. And the imp upgrades are already through, so elite units is where it's at. And it's so hard with these jabs, with all of this, to actually be taking down these villagers because they're just jumping into houses and they're shooting back.
Yeah, they're defending their homes. Like it's like they're living in America and not in the Delhi Sultanate. Like they have the right to shoot at people if they're not allowed in their home. But yeah, they were trying to attack on as much places as he can, going in himself, trying to get that much eco damage as he can, because he knows as the superior army if the opponent just age up to Imperial age, because you got 3,600 resources invested into this next age.
Yeah, the farms are set up right. Remember, Tithe Barns has come through as well now, and that is Tithe Barns on 5 relics on a civ that doesn't need to pay for your upgrades. So this is so much gold income that is coming through. Might not have a sacred side, but I don't think he even needs it particularly. There's a really strange wall on the right side as well here, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, I saw it before. There was one villager was tapping away, trying to build a wall over the trade post. Not really sure why, but that's something that we can ask. But we have the counterattack for Louis going in now. A lot of Imperial upgrades went in. He rematched his army once again. DeMu just went to Imperial. He's still waiting for Imperial upgrades, and Louis is trying to take advantage of this window of opportunity.
Yeah, and while that is happening, there is a switch that is happening for the composition of for DeMu here, though. It is these freeborn. Remember, they're not light, they're not heavy, so they don't actually take any bonus damage from any range damage. So it might be helpful here. We'll have to see. I don't often see these guys being played in these late game scenarios, but I'm very excited to see how they're doing against these elephants. And might be the answer, though, as these archers, they're taking way too much damage, it feels like, trying to just deal with a little bit of frontline that they have, but the elephants at the same time. Look at the elephant numbers. It is deceptive because there's a bug with the capture age UI, so he only has 3 of them because it takes 3 space.
Yeah, but still, DeMu doing a great job protecting his base and pushing Louis out again. Louis trying to raid on the sides a little bit as well. We're still on the south side. We have like a raiding party going out there. It's 3 guys and 1 archer getting caught out by a couple of units by DeMu. Meanwhile, they're also fighting on the sacred side, and Keep is going up on the big gold thing with a tower for the vision. And I wonder if DeMu's spotting it out and wants to try to deny that.
Now, trying to see if we can get a little bit of a raid in here. I don't think... Yeah, DeMu did add a second TC at some point in the game as well. Which is going to be quite helpful, catching up a little bit, especially against these village fortresses. The main issue that it comes to with these village fortresses is actually remembering to hotkey them.
Oh yeah, they don't cycle in the all town centers hotkey, so every time when I play Delhi, I also have to hotkey the keeps on a different number. Like I always put them on number 5, yes, and I'm also using the Y and to make villages, and with the shift click, and I just try to make as many villages as I can, so I don't have to pay attention that it keeps for a long time.
I just have our TCs and keeps in control group 5 regardless. 20 bucks coming in from someone, thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
It was 100 earlier, by the way. Thanks for that as well. Much appreciated. Now, Louis is going to be running in. And look at this, though. Elephants. Are they getting one shot?
Yeah, they're getting so much damage from those ranged javelin throwers, because they still have the range tag, so they get bonus damage from the javelin throwers, and they also get the poison damage, and then before you know it, all your elephants are gone.
Needs to be careful here, though. I remember seeing Louis play this versus Smoltoon in a very similar situation on Himayama, where he, at some point, I think he had maybe 15 elephants. Biology is almost coming through as well here, though. And at that point, the elephant's going to be even tankier than they already are.
Even more ways, like one knight in the west side, but also in the west side, you got a lot of units going to the bottom side of the map on the gold vein. They're about to hit. I see them running under the wood line. Observer in the south. Do we have a big raid in the south? Yeah, we do. Thank you, Observer. And those are villagers. The villagers are raiding.
I mean, might as well. You have so many TCs, might as well throw a little bit away. He's just giving them a little bit of a warning as to what is about to come. However, there is a bunch of freeborns here. Their damage is that good, though, so I don't think there should be any problems canceling this keep for the time being.
Yeah, every village that gets taken down reduces the building speed. It's like 75% done. Also in the middle, we got an engagement again. And also on the right side, we got a unit going trying to raid, and the keep is gonna make it.
Oh my god.
And they're not hopping in. They're first trying to burn down the pit mine before they try to get to any form of safety. And they hop in right now. And it's gonna be difficult for those freeborn warriors to fight under the keep. Because like we said, the boiling oil just hurts so much.
I mean, one of the things I have to commend him as well, by the way, is actually the active uptime on the Dome of the Faith. Being able to produce scholars this entire damn game, it feels like 40 scholars now. And at some point there, just when all of the upgrades has gone through, it's gonna be a nightmare trying to deal with this army that Louis is going to be having, right? That is one of the reasons these fights look so bad for Louis despite the count on top. It is this deceptive number. Minus 40 is effectively what you have to count on top here. But now...
Yeah, but that won't be for long. When all those Imperial upgrades are in, those 40 scholars are gonna get pulled outside of the mosque, and they're gonna try and heal up all those elephants, and it's gonna be so difficult to get them down.
Yeah, and look at the glowing elephants. Can we click on one of them and hover over their ability, by the way? Because Seal is so insane. It's 50% attack speed, and you thought Tower of Victory was good? Yeah, never mind, you're just gonna have 50% attack speed, and that applies to literally everything on the elephant, the tusk, the guys on top. Now he just needs to be making sure that they don't die, that they're able to actually take this, and the fight is starting to look so bleak for DeMu, because there's just not enough to actually be dealing with these Seal damn elephants, and they're just too tanky running him down. But they are taking so much damage while being kited though.
Yeah, and meanwhile on the south, it seems like then we lost the control over the gold mine. We see a lot of green dots popping out. They're chasing all the way. They're going back to that keep once again. They're trying to secure the gold thing as good as they can, and that's really gonna hurt the gold income for them, which is only 500 gold a minute.
Yeah, and now there's some spicy guys coming through in the queue here as well. I really like it from both players. Now remember, DeMu, despite being the Malians, is lacking severely on those unit techs, which is a big problem when you have come to this position as the Delhi Sultanate, because now they have just literally everything in the game for free when it comes to upgrades.
Oh, and another knight chopping away at that wood line, taking one villager down after another. It's like 4 or 5 falls down already. Even in this state of the game with 2 TCs, you don't want to lose all your eco without paying any of attention. But there's so much going on so many spots of the map. You got the engagement in the middle, trying to snipe those elephants. Scholars trying to heal them up, getting sniped as well, because DeMu wants to have some value and try to kill those elephants. Fortress of the Hunt going down, and in the south we got the challenge for the big gold vein as well, and we got even more units on the right side trying to get value from raids. We got a lot of knights coming in, and Louis just all over the place.
Yeah, and we're starting to hit a really critical point here as well, though. For DeMu, he's starting to run out of things to actually gather when it comes to anything but wood. His wood income is absolutely through the roof, but can he do something with it? His units right now, the only thing it can really make is poison archers, and that is something you can't afford to tech switch into. Remember, he hasn't gotten poison arrows, he hasn't gotten the veteran upgrade, he hasn't gotten elite upgrade, he hasn't gotten anything for that, and tech switching at this point is so hard. Mustafa Gunners are coming through a little bit to see if they can deal with the elephants, but I don't think they can, especially when there's this many units just running everywhere for Louis. He is just having a blast at this point.
And DeMu taps out. I was just saying that value of the keep on the south side, that was so worth it. It took so much time for them to try and take it out. It killed so many units, and DeMu was going there with his whole army and got caught out of position, and Louis already was in his base with all those elephants, and by the time that those Donzos and Javelin throwers come back at his own base, the base will be gone and his villagers will be dead. Great win by Louis.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? You gotta remember, Louis got 5 relics. He got all the relics, he got tithe barns, and normally in this stage in the game, you'd be like, okay, yeah, but Mali has so much passive income with the Grand Fulani Corral set up, with everything that's going through it. But instead, what happens is like he went for this timing attack that didn't end up working. So instead, he tried to pivot a little bit to try to see if he could maybe do something with potentially like a freeborn timing and just like have this raid going on. But I just think there was not enough damage, and the keep timing as well was crucial to slow the game down, not allow that timing attack to actually work out, and then bring him back into the game.
Yeah, it really looked like them had a bigger focus on the military and instead of the economy. And like you got these three things you can either boom, or you can fast tech, or you can double down on military. That are like those the three general ways to go in an RTS to try and win the game. And DeMu really wanted to have better units than Louis really wanted to keep the game short. But if the game goes long then, and with all the economic upgrades that Louis is getting for free, and all the upgrades investments that he has, and the landmark choices, he just scales so much better into the late game that at the end it becomes a war of attrition, and Louis will win that with the Delhi.
Yeah, oh, naturally. Right, and yeah, like the 420-69 right now, I didn't even realize that.
Close enough in one time. I'm close enough.
It's easy, right there.
Yeah, you're really good at it, but no. There!
All right, next map though, we have the first picks for each of the...
I can pat his bald head, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't have this coordination. Yeah, good DeMu.
But we have the first picks coming in, right? We have Sushi Roos coming in, right? Remember,
oh,
this one, like this is
S-tier
something
versus
that
S-tier.
I think it was Voldemort and Bolton who said this to DeMu, which was allow yourself one of the top Civ picks. Allow it to have that coming through. And now we have that coming through. We have Sushi on a very standard map. We have Roos on a very standard map. Remember, we have 4 lakes in the pool, right? So we could have potentially seen Roos on that map, but it's something that hasn't been seen that much recently in, I almost want to say, a year. And Sushi on that map as well feels kind of okay, so I'm actually interested to see how this one will play out. Are we going to have some fast castle shenanigans against the pro-scat fast castle that the Roos is having? Or are we going to see some Shuganu potentially? I actually do not know.
I prefer the fast castle way, because even if you go into the Shuganu, it's really hard to inflict damage on the Roos opponent. And if the Roos just goes into mass horseman, for example, it's really difficult to protect your reinforcement line, and you're gonna get raided, and then you're gonna bleed units and villages all over the place. Before you know it, you can just tap out and say GG. We see the player cams again. Both are really focused, they're ready to go. We're going to Dry Arabia with Sushi versus Roos. We're gonna have the map any minute now. Just a couple of seconds left. I'm excited. Like drum rolls.
No, you gotta do the Zelda.
I'm more of the Mario generation, you know.
Oh, I actually never played a Zelda game. Actually never played a Zelda game.
You never played Mario?
Oh, I played Mario, yeah, of course. I played like Super Mario World.
Oh, good thing. Like Mario Kart was golden age.
True. Oh, that was actually...
Yeah, and in the right, on the east side, in the color green, we got loueMT playing as the Sushi. Audience, let me hear you say, loueMT!
Okay, hopefully that didn't come through.
In my mind, they're shouting. In my mind, they're shouting. We're in the casting room, so we can't really confirm, but in my mind, that was a successful cast. And in the left, in the color purple, playing as the Roos, it's Liquid DeMu. You're okay, Kyle. We'll make it. We'll go all 5 games. It's only 4 left.
I swear, Twitch chat. I swear, it's just because we don't have audience mics. You don't hear the clapping, you don't hear the shouting that was happening every time there. Golden Gate going to be going up though, no big surprises there. Now, looking at Meditation Garden spots, there's a pretty juicy one in the back there.
Oh, that's really nice. Some food, double gold, that's 36 food, that's 50 gold. Couple of trees. You know, that seems really nice. But the Golden Gate is really nice as well, because it gives you these tickets which you can exchange. You can either buy food or you can sell food. And for every 100 resources you get 150 back. So like every ticket you get every minute is 50 additional resources for free.
Yeah, it's a really efficient way to actually do your trades. I wish the real world would work like that. That would actually be nice, but instead you get 100, you put 100 in and they get 150 back, and you're like, oh, that's really nice, and then you realize it's actually inflation.
Yeah, but inflation in a good way, because you're gaining money instead of paying more. Like that in real life, you got these taxes and then you have to pay 20% more for your food or your groceries, but not as you're playing as Russian. Like you're getting free groceries. You're buying just a couple of bottles of milk and then you get 5 instead of the 3 that you bought. So that's an amazing deal right there.
Quite nice. Anyways, Louis is going to be taking down some of these deers quite early on, which is actually going to be really annoying for DeMu. However, we'll have to see what the choice is going to be. Age up timing is quite nice here. It's going to be getting some of that tax and getting that upgrade quite quickly that we shall not name, even though
yeah,
we didn't name it. And
the upgrade who shall not be named was researched by Boat. Boat still a couple of minutes. It's only 20 seconds left for loueMT, and DeMu already going to research the tech that shall not be named as well. You already got the 3 scouts on the field, 4th incoming, and just trying the meditation, burning down the meditation garden a little bit just to deny some resources. And he has some idle time with the scout right now because he has to wait for that research to finish.
Yeah, and he also needs to wait a little bit for actually getting the resources. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a quick queue. I mean, he can just supervise them out, right? So he's just going to be quickly able to get that one back home. I think it's 9 seconds. There it is, 9 seconds. So we are going to be getting that one quite quickly coming through as well. Scout's going to be coming in from DeMu as well. However, this was expected. I think we all expected this. Now, the thing that I don't know, I don't really know what the response is. Like, what is the follow-up for Zushi, right? We see in team games, we often see the meme to this be a lot of Shaolin monks going fast one dynasty, so you can actually get just like 10 billion monks and actually start smacking the bold men around. They actually have a really cool beard, by the way. Or are we going to see the Lancers, right? Because the Sushi has a really nice blacksmith upgrade where they're, I think it's 2 armor on their knights.
No, that's the steel border from HRE. You're meaning the attack speed, the Dali horses.
Yes, attack speed. Yes, the Dali horses. That's the one I mean. So that could be an option as well. However, making Lancers / Knights, whatever you want to call them, against the Bruce with the Horse Archers, I'm actually not too sure how I feel about that.
So what I usually experience as Sushi, you go to the fast castle, you can either go Shaolin Monastery to immediately pick up the relics and try to contest them, or you can go Mount Lu Academy, you take the research which doubles the supervision, and then you want to start off with a couple of lancers, like 2 or 3 is enough, simply so you have some heavy map presence and you can dive their TC, you can dive their wood line, you can dive their TC, you can dive their, yeah, they don't need gold, but you can dive their high trade house. And then after that you want those horsemen, but those horsemen do very well against those horse archers. So then DeMu, as the Rus player, has to add something into his composition against those horsemen. Probably gonna be knights, but that's all the speculation.
Yeah, and DeMu is a little bit greedy here. I feel like he has gone for that wheelbarrow, which is going to be helping him just a little bit. I mean, he does have a lot of resource, and you can see the macro that's happening right now. He is going to go for that castle age, and without a doubt, by the way, he is going to go for horse archers. And I think Louis is actually quite well aware of this, considering what is being dropped as well.
Yeah, Louis' response is like, I'm a little bit slower at my castle. I'm gonna invest a lot of wood in walls already, to at least have my side of the map secured. And that's the thing about horse archers. They're really effective at controlling the map, but taking down a wall takes a long time.
Yeah, it's not longbows where they do way too much damage against walls. Actually, they do way too much damage, period. But we do have a lot of deer coming in for both players who actually won the deer scouting war. I don't know, there's too many scouts there to actually be keeping track of it. But Shaolin Monster is coming through as well, though. It's going to be trying to get those relic quite quickly, and I'm expecting the high trade house to come out from DeMu as well, which would not be a surprise. He's going to be making himself a little bit slower on picking up those relics, trying to get that warrior monk out. But it's still a very good possibility, and this is just a joy to watch, guys.
Yeah, and I think this is very good by Louis, because he's even faster at the castle age than our Rush player. Like, you can go up at 7 minutes and 20 seconds if you macro properly, and that couple of seconds, like those 10 to 15 seconds, are gonna make the difference between 3 relics or 2 relics. And if you're Zhu Shi and you got a couple of relics, you can even go Yuan Dynasty and get those pagodas. So you put a relic on a pagoda and you get a massive amount of resources.
Yeah. There's a possibility. Scouts torching down. I'm just going to be a little bit annoying. Seeing if we can get maybe like a Dare Carcass or 2. This is starting to be quite reminiscent of the olden days when you would actually be diving TCs to see if you could get some Dare Carcass from your opponent. Could be diving the high trade house, however. Now, walls have come up as well, so quite secure. Archer ranges is on the field for DeMu as well. Should be dropping a monastery there. It is. So what the relic split will end up being is 3-2, but who is going to be leading that 3-2 is my question.
Yeah, and we got 4 archery range up. It's a quadruple archery range. Only a staple for Louis as of yet. We're hearing a second production building going down, and it's Siege Workshop. I didn't expect that, to be honest.
I mean, it is China in a nutshell, to be fair. To actually just sit behind your base, like get 3 relics, drop walls, make farms, and then make nest of bees, and then your opponent is just like, well...
Yeah, it's a very solid way of playing. It's a more defensive play than what I see a lot of other players do. They just like to go fast castle with a lot of lancers and then try to raid their opponent to that. This is the more safer play, but he's just gonna go for the macro play, trying to get in as many resources as he can. And once he has the Song Dynasty and get those grannies up, he's gonna get food, like 2,000 food every minute.
The main thing for me is, though, I don't necessarily think he needs to, I mean, he doesn't need to go for Song Dynasty quite just yet, though, because there's no point in it. He has so many dares still left on the field that there's just, or sorry, in his base, that he doesn't actually need to it. And remember, he's supervising the mill as well, so the drop he's going to be getting is just so incredibly high. During that, 3 relics has been secured. The meditation garden still chilling in the back there, has a berry pack, has a berry pack, has 2 gold veins. Now needs to just protect this nest of bee, but that doesn't seem to be that nest. Like, that actually doesn't seem that possible. Scout's actually doing a pretty damn good job at taking them down, however.
Yeah, that was unexpected, just to say. And the Scouts are gonna pay the price, but the DeMu will be happy with this, because he got a lot of ranged units now against only melee units, and the Shaolin Monk taking a lot of damage. He using the ability, trying to tank that damage as much as possible, because they got a defensive buff against ranged damage. But DeMu's in.
DeMu is in. Horse archers.
Yeah, those horse archers are trying to find some value. They're checking out the meditation garden, looking if there's like a mining pick and a gold vein that's occupied with villagers. We see some quick walls coming up next to the gold vein, so the horse archers can easily raid the gold vein and go back on the wood line. And if they really want to, they have to dive under the sea. But the sea has this hand cannons that do just 25 damage.
One of the things I've been thinking a little bit about while we've been casting is actually going for the Dali horses with horsemen.
Yeah, that's a good call, because the horsemen, they have a little bit trouble connecting the horse archer, but the root player has to micro way more than you do. You can just A-move with those horsemen. They do a good amount of damage against the horse archers, and you're forcing your opponent to add a component, either Knights from himself, or Nest B, or maybe even Spearman if he wants to. But he can't just bump down horse archers into horsemen. Like, in the end, you're gonna be overwhelmed, you're gonna get surrounded, and you will lose.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, right? Because like with the changes to how animation cancelling works, it is actually quite possible, and it is just, you pretty much just A-move. Warrior's Fortitude is coming through though, which is going to be helping quite a lot. And I'm just so scared because I don't know what Louis is going to do. He doesn't have a proper response. It feels like he's making spearmen against horse archery. And as a wise man once said, I'm a camel archer, I can't do spearmen too.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like, that villager, I feel so sorry for that villager getting sent out to build a new wall next to like 5-6 horse archers and getting shut down in his face.
Yeah. It's a good victory approaching. Relic split did up and being 3-2 as predicted, unless I have completely missed the bottom left corner.
And we're gonna see a second TC up for the Rus player. DeMu already scaling on villagers well, only 30 minutes in and already making more and more villagers. Also got the 3 sacred sites. He does only have 2 relics, so that Louis is doing better in the relic apartment. But by taking the sacred site, he's at least forcing Louis to do something in the next 9 minutes and 36 seconds. He needs to get out and contest one of those sites somewhere between the time.
Yeah, and we do see a little bit of a switch up as to what DeMu is going for, though. Has a lot of gold now coming in, so wants to be using that somewhere. Crossbow is quite a nice way to deal with that, especially considering what Louis has on the field. I mean, this is just a bunch of spearmen that's protecting siege at this point.
But still, like, don't you want either? Oh, a lot of damage coming in on those horse archers, and they immediately turn back around. You know, Louis has a lot of spearmen, so I understand he doesn't want to go into knights, but maybe like a big blob of men-at-arms just to have some front line, just to have a meat shield to tank while the horse archers deal all the damage. That would be nice.
Yeah, he's going into that, so a little bit of melee units as well, going to be tanking up the front. Now, it is sorry, it is quite possible that Louis could be going into some men-at-arms himself. It's not something I necessarily expect to see, considering he wants to have those a little bit higher premium units in those knights to have some mobility and that tankiness.
Yeah, well, Sushi feels more like a careful save to me, because with the Temple of the Sun you get the damage increase on the horses. Oh, some nice shots again. But with the blacksmith upgrade, all the horses, you got the attack speed on the horses, and those men-at-arms for the Zusi leggies, they're palace guards, so they have less ranged armor, but they are really fast, so they're really good for raiding in small parts, like make 6 to 8 palace guards and just run them all over the place. So it's very possible they're using for raids, but the men-at-arms are being scattered out by that lancer, but will pay it for it with his life.
Yeah. Not sure how he gets that information back home, maybe through the afterlife somehow. If you're into Greek mythology, maybe Hades will help you with that one. Walls are going to be super spicy though, sectioning off the map quite well. Sacred Site has been shut down for the time being at least.
Now once again we see all these spices wall, like that wall left to the sacred site. It's just going a vertical wall between these wood lines. They're not really sectioning off anything as of yet, but wooden forts getting attacked. Villagers dropping in, letting that board just lie there. They really want to get away, but Nest of Beasts burning it down, and all those villages go down. They're getting surrounded, and that's at least 1 down, 2 down, 1 down, and 7 villagers trying to run away, but they're going to the south. That's the wrong side. That's not to your base, sir. You're gonna get caught out, and you will be killed.
They are going to be killed at some point. Very shortly, but that's not going to be the case just yet. They're just like running for their life and extend their life for just a little bit longer. But we'll have to see how long it takes for that. The horse archers are going to be diverted to see if they can maybe save a couple of them. They're still running into the towers and their hands off Louis. Now he's going to be spotting out the horsemen as well, so he's going to kill that knight, which is going to save at least 4 villagers, maybe just 3 gets this way.
Oh,
no, he's just going to be dropping
villagers.
a tower there quickly as well. Oh no.
Oh, wow, some great anti-beach. Look at all those dead units. The entire ground is scored, and even more raids coming in, getting some Nest Beast shots as well. It's raining rockets all day. Now we get all those melee units coming in. Horse archers trying to save the day, but they're getting poked by spearmen. They get fired upon by Nest of Beasts, and this is a great fight for Louis.
I mean, it's a great fight on one of the sides at least. That is the main thing here. On the other side, it looks like he might be losing. Not sure what happened on the bottom. They lost those 4 villagers that... made it out alive.
Lou is such a good job on the multitasking, still knowing that the four village were there, sending another more shots on top of the army of DeMu. That's so much damage on his army, that's so much destroyed value already going over the 6,000 mark. It's over 6,000!
It's way too long.
Yeah, we're waiting for the 9 and we can repeat.
Then we can do it. 469. So, what is the next thing that Louis needs to do here? Though he has seen one of the hands that that DeMu has played. It is that man-at-arms crossbow spear thing.
I would love getting a Jiangnan tower and going for the granary. I would like to see a farm transition about now.
About now feels about right, yeah. I still think you should at least start your farm transition just a little bit now, considering how, for the lack of better words, screwed you are. I mean, look at what is that. Look at the food income, right? I'm just not sure if that is a possibility to do right now. He needs so much into the hands of actually just army, right? He's taken a really good fight. He just needs to keep extending that late ruse. With that wood bonus, is actually going to be using that one quite spicy, actually, with what is going out on the field right now.
Oh, those rockets raining down upon that one poor Vil. Louis
That's roasted deer.
Yeah, he's roasted for life. But Louis pushed DeMu's army so way back. He can transition into farm because he won a couple of fights. He has more army. He has the better army. Oh, wow! Another foregone.
So one of the things I'm actually interested, and there's like this food YouTuber who does a lot of beef and stuff. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. He's a bald guy. Maybe can someone like hit him up, email him, and be like, "Hey, can you roast a beef with gunpowder?" It doesn't seem food safe, but I still would be interested.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Louis is trying to take down the monastery as well. That's 2 relics that won't bring in back any golden men. We see even more walls coming up, and just look how Louis is building his wall. He's sectioning his nest of bees in like these squares. It's like Drongo playing against the AI. He boxes them in, so it's going to be really difficult to connect with those set nest of bees. We see all these gates coming up, so we can retreat back through these gates, and if you can just kite all day, it's going to be really difficult to take those nest of bees down.
I mean, this is just plain wrong, it feels like. I mean, he's just pulling back. The only thing that could make this worse is having stone towers or stone walls around this. That would be horrific. Springholes, not what they once were, did do a pretty good job of taking down the defenses, or sorry, the front line for those Springholes.
Yeah, but still those Springholes, if the nest of bees get on top of them and they're gonna shoot a volley from like 6 nest of bees, those Springholes will smell like snow before the sun.
Yeah, I mean, that one Springhold is, or sorry, the one nest of bees has to be pretty rough. Now, Song Dynasty has come through. Farm transition should be up as well. Oh my god.
Triple granary right here, and all those villages that went off to food right now. It's gonna take some time.
My OCD right now is my dear. Alright, but this is one thing that DeMu does quite a lot, and if you ever play against DeMu, this is one of his weaknesses. One, he will often send like 30-40 vills out of one of these pocket resources. He is going to be leaving them undefended, just hoping you are not finding them, and then he's going to be just running them back. When he has this 2 TC, 3 TC villager leads, he can just do that. Now, can we click on the golden gates? Because I have a feeling, though, there's a couple of tickets in there. There's actually not going to be any, so he's using that very efficiently. Big difference between a good ruse player and an amazing ruse player is how well you can use that golden gate. Now, these walls are the most toxic thing I have ever seen out of such a nice man, which is Louis.
Well, you know what the thing is, oh, some nice mangonels on those nest of bees. That's a lot of damage, but still like a couple of villagers repairing those nest of bees. They're dodging the mangonel shots as well. They're gonna go back all the way into the corner, trying to find a ghost, save a little space, but even more mangonel shots, and one villager goes down, but the nest of bees, they're still all alive.
I mean, I was very ready to lose an SB there, but apparently not. Mangonel's doing a pretty good job at sieging down the walls, though. However, there's not a lot of other units for anybody else, actually. And wow, these two palace guards are finding value here. Those Springles going to be helping us just a little bit. I need to be piercing them, and I still do not understand how that Springle is hitting the enemy and not your vills as well.
Yeah, but what here we're talking about, like having 30 vills on a pocket eco, like that's a classic mistake for a player or any player that is playing a very aggressive civ that has map control. You're feeling so secure, you're feeling so safe. You're fine with not building a tower or not building farms and postponing any farm position. But now we got a great dive with all those horsemen, and those horsemen have additional attack speed and they're already really good against siege. Mangonel's trying to get out. One gets popped, another one gets popped, and another one gets popped, and the top one gets popped as well. It's such a satisfying sound hearing all that siege blow up.
I mean, all of the siege is just blowing up, and one thing that is not blowing up is DeMu's food income right now. It is stuck at 4 vills on some food. I think that's just the guys that's killing and hunting and gathering from the deer from the high trade house. Nestopi's count is absolutely insane, and if you were just showing me the top bar at the moment, I would be like, oh, cool, a King of the Hill game.
Yeah, there's a lot of siege on the field. We've got 4 Mangonels and 4 Spells fighting against 11 nests of bees. Like, I have somebody that complains to me that I make too many nests of bees, but you can never have enough.
Nest of bees nuts.
Nest of bees nuts. These nuts.
Yeah, I swear I'm an adult.
Yeah, there's an amazing K and Peel sketch about that. You should watch it. But we'll watch it at a later time. Let's focus back on the game. We got walls being attacked. We got a granary being set up. It's not the most neatest and tidiest farm setup that you can do. But we got food at least. It's something DeMu doesn't have. He's got 16 views on food right now. But trying to add in some farms right now if I look at the map correctly. But it's still going to take a long time before his food income is healthy again.
I mean, this is just like a slow burn, right? I mean, at least with the Roost, you have this bonus wood income, so you don't mind the farm transition as much as, for example, French, for example. It's still pretty rough how bad it is. I think it might be 1 in every 7 farms are free.
Yeah, and DeMu just losing map. Look at the left side, or at the trade post, but also at the screen. We got villagers getting killed. We got villagers getting killed at the trade post, trying to wall up, but they're also leaving that gold vein outside of their space. DeMu is just losing out on resources. He's getting denied more and more of the map.
Yeah. And one of those walls was torched down / cancelled, depends on how you see things, and then one section was cut off from its trade post, so it actually never would have been properly walled off unless DeMu has the awareness to actually do that. Now, Mangonels are doing a pretty effective job at torching or sieging down, you know, towers and walls, but the second you start coming to buildings, it's going to be quite problematic. Now, Louis has the income to do pretty much whatever he wants. DeMu, despite being on 2 TCs for quite a while, is struggling to catch up. Look at the villager kills, 37 villager kills, and he is on 2 TC, Louis is not.
Now, Louis decided to skip the Yuan dynasty. He doesn't need any pagodas as of yet, but he's going to imp. So it's going to be either the Zushi Library or Temple of the Sun. Temple of the Sun gives a buffs to your units, like movement speed to your infantry, or damage to your cavalry, or healing when your army isn't fighting. It's passive healing out of combat. And it's going to be the Temple of the Sun. Zushi Library has some really nice, unique upgrades, like the 1001 bolt, 10,000 bolts even. I know it's really strong, like, but I don't really know all the names. But still, Ram pushing on that wall, cracking DeMu open. That's the thing that Roost doesn't have. They only have the wooden walls until you have the Spaskia tower. Then you can make stone walls, but until then you have to double or triple layer even if you want to keep your enemy out.
Yeah, and one of the things that is a win condition for DeMu as of right now is slowing down the game. Because there's not a lot of sieging siege. There's just Nest of Bees who's going to be doing a lot of damage, right? Slowing down the game, getting up to the Imperial Age, getting some bombards, and then finally, maybe then finally be able to take out the siege. But The problem is getting to that stage. He needs a lot of food, he needs a lot of infrastructure to get to that point, and that is one of the hardest parts for DeMu in this situation. He has a lot of gold, which is good.
Yeah, and he also has to place the high armory somewhere. Like, he could place it next to the TC of Louis, but I would prefer like a high armory in the back of his base. Like, this feels just a little bit more safe, and you got a higher chance of getting it up.
Louis, he's kind of just chilling and vibing at the board. Just
yeah, he's
macroing and having a good time and making sure that everything is nice and set up for a slow and easy victory.
Yeah, he's got control over enough gold, and he's just getting his Imperial upgrades in. He knows DeMu has to bank for the resources as well, because DeMu needs his Imperial upgrades as well if he wants to challenge the army of Louis. And once Louis has his upgrades and he sees that Imperial notification from DeMu, he's gonna go for the kill.
Yeah. I don't even think he needs it right now. He just needs to get those upgrades, get everything going, and then he can just start running out on the fields. And they can almost A-click at this point. Of course, still need to micro just a little bit. But
always important that Louis is in such a pole position, like we see on the right side of the map. On the east side we see some units burning down the wall. That's the famous palace guards that are so fast, they're famous for raiding. But also on the left side we already see units of Louis waiting for those vills, I think. But they're seeing and they're immediately running away. It's on the left side of the map, in the stealth forest. I really want to go there. Yeah, it's units against units. They're not vills right yet. Amazing picture-in-picture work by our observer.
Like, all right, you took down these walls once. Let me do it again. Same layout, so you know how things are going to go down. But
yeah, and do I see the Springwood upgrade coming in, and a couple of Springwood for Louis himself, so he's gonna counter all these spearmen that are on the field as well.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, Ayyubids.
Yeah, here he comes. DeMu has the gold for the Imperial upgrade. He does have gold to take those attacks as well, but village is going down while they're trying to repair that wooden fortress, and the wooden fortress started to get to not getting burned as of yet. Mangonel getting some rockets as well.
Scary situation here, though. Okay, not a lot of frontline here. Oh my god, my screen. I'm happy I don't have an HDR screen right now, because I'd probably be blinded.
Oh yeah, and wooden fortress burning down as well. That's gonna be a big lack of vision, and Louis is probably gonna get up a couple of towers himself, so he can get the first shot on the siege of the opponent instead of the siege from himself. Keep also going up. DeMu gonna go real defensive. He wants to take this game. He wants to go for a comeback, but it's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, DeMu trying to split up his army just a little bit, trying to see if he can break through somewhere. You think that might be in the middle of his base, but no, it's actually in the middle of the map that is trying to break through some walls. They're trying to see if he can make some opening. Springle Upper is going to be going through on that one as well. She's going to go down pretty quickly. Needs to be careful there, though, not to be losing the siege mass that he has built up. However, the siege is crucial to what both of these players are doing, actually. In fact, and now the front line of loueMT is looking pretty scary, pretty solid. I think the second he gets that notification through, it is go time.
Yeah, pretty soon the high army is coming in, and Rus has these special attacks for their siege, and they also can get the adjustable crowbars, which really buffs up those mangonels. I don't know if the nest of bees of Louis already has the additional rockets upgrade. That's 2 more rockets, so it improves their damage as well with a lot. That's something we could double check.
It's in a siege workshop.
It's in the siege workshop. Yes. Yeah, he got it. Additional rockets, which is really powerful. So it's gonna be buffed up siege against buffed up siege, and we're gonna see who's the bigger Chad.
I'll have to see. I mean, mangonels are in general better when you get that adjustable crossbars. Now, Imp has come through. Louis immediately starts reacting. See if he can find something somewhere.
Yeah, Louis knows there's just been 3,600 resources invested into Imperial Age. He knows there's going to be a lot of resources invested in those special attacks. We already see the siege crew training. We already see the adjustable crowbars. We see some walls getting taken down, so Louis can stream in or even a wall vertical to block the re-wall. So he can stream in horsemen, knights, palace guards, just to be all over the place again and force DeMu to multitask. And siege is slow, so it's really hard to run after those palace guards, run after all those raids, and it's gonna be really difficult to maintain his eco.
The eco for DeMu now has been set up as well, right? So that food account that we were talking about at some point, yet 4 on food, 0 food income, has been solved. Remember, Roost, I do not mind a late game farm considering all of the bounty. Their extra gathering rate on those farms are pretty damn high. Adjustable crossbows are coming through now. A little sneaky guy coming in as well, though. I don't think DeMu has vision of this.
Yeah,
okay,
he does see it, but it's only 4 villages and a lot of more villages coming in. That's really important because Zushi, like the Chinese, they have a higher build speed, but if you only build it by 2 villages, you get the same issue as Dowd has when he's trying to build a keep. It won't go up.
I mean, this one will go up though. Sushi, this China variant, so has that extra build speed. It's going to go up, and it's going to be securing a gold in the back of his base as well, right? It's a really big, important thing. It's an 8k gold win as well, and shortly DeMu is going to be running out of gold. Can't really hide anywhere else. Remember, Louis has had these walls going for quite a bit as well. I even think there is someone in the left corner, even like all the way in the left corner. There's just one patrolling there, making sure that this is not a place that DeMu can go safely to.
Yeah, he wants to have vision on all those gold veins, because at some point, if you don't have a steady gold income anymore, you can make those premium units, and you're gonna have those trash units, as we call them, against way better armored units, and you're just gonna lose out on the fight.
Yeah. And else, they're starting to take now decent trades against the actual Nest of Beasts now.
Yeah, we got the Imperial Guard upgrade for Sushi.
That's actually surprising. I don't remember what that one does.
Gives you the special cavalry unit that's already in the queue as well.
Oh yeah, that's
so they are really, really effective against melee units.
Yeah, now we're seeing Divine Defenses as well coming in here. Ming Dynasty bonus is through. We'll have to see where this one goes. Actually, with this map spawn, by the way, we haven't really talked about it. Going for Sacred Site victory is not really a possibility, just based on the fact that the Sacred Site layouts is very tricky to actually be doing something with. However, Mangonel count now is starting to be pretty scary. It's only going to get scarier. It's going to be cheaper as well for DeMu, considering he has high armory. You know, considering the fact that he has placed all of his siege workshops around that landmark.
Yeah, and Louis already telegraphing to us which upgrades he got from the Sushi library and which composition he wants to go. We got the Imperial Guards, who are really good at fighting against melee units. They got a lot of armor as well, they're really tanky. And we got the Cloud of Terror, which gives the bombards an area of effect. So Louis wants this couple of bombards into his composition as well, because his bombards are buffed up as well, just like the mangonels of the Rus are buffed up. And it's gonna be the battle of the siege.
It's gonna be a very cutesy battle here. Let's see though the mangonels, how well they are doing with that extra range, with that extra AoE damage as well. Just doing so much damage. And Louis, he is on the Sushi. He is one of the best late game civs, and now the multitasking is starting to come in. What is he doing with that sneaky little guy?
Oh, bomber going down. That's an expensive loss. And Strelzy trying to fight it. We've got a couple of villagers repairing said bombard on the top at the big gold vein. We got a siege workshop as well. Louis really protecting that gold as good as he can. We got Nest of Beasts firing wherever they can. Spearmen trying to run in, but those Imperial Guards, even though Spearmen are the counter against cavalry, they're just so tanky. You get all those buffs on attack speed, on the damage, on the health, with biology. They just won't go down, and all the cavalry is streaming inside DeMu's base. They're ignoring all those units. They're going straight on top of the siege. They're even running past the siege. It's never gonna go. This whole army is gonna get cleaned up.
It's getting cleaned up, and now I think that is it. DeMu's going to be tapping out of that one, realizes when he loses all of that siege, it's going to be it. DeMu, that was a slow game, but it was a really calculated one from louis, it felt like.
I think Blue is playing so well. Remember, this is still his first offline event, and like we talked about before, he also told us he was kind of nervous about it. So the first couple of games at this event, you could see that he needed to get used to this situation, being used on an offline event, because it's just different. But he's playing so well in this series.
Yeah, and you can see that there's like a teeny tiny bit there where the military value lead for DeMu was in his hands, but yeah, still, yeah, it didn't look too well at the end there. I mean, instantly losing all of that siege just drops it down so quickly. The economy count as well, though, I have to talk about that. The 2 TC that DeMu was on the entire game kind of only had an effect for a little bit as well. And Louis, you know, I don't know. Is it the... Is it just like the meditation garden that's just strong? Is it the is it meditation garden? Is it IO? Is it just like playing well? Like I don't really know, but I wish actually we did have like a total resource gathered chart properly, not just like a bar chart, because you know Louis did end up having like 7,000 more resources, but I actually do wonder how much of that he was ahead in resources gathered throughout the game.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if you're looking at the Zushi shift, they got a lot of bonuses, but with the Imperial officials, of course, they can either supervise a lumber camp or a mining camp or granary, and you get a lot of more additional resources. They can also pick up tax if they want, so you get some additional gold income. At the Mountain Academy, you got this upgrade, so you go for 4 Imperial officials to 6. And that really helps a lot in the late game. So it's a combination of all these bonuses. The granary, which gives you additional food. The relics, which gives you gold. Louis didn't build pagodas, but they're a really big boost to your economy as well. And if you add all those things up, that's what makes Zushi so strong in the late Imperial game.
Yeah, and that is... I don't know, like at the start, it was really weird. Like at the start, we were like, oh, Sushi is like a terrible late game civ. Like when they were first released, and then suddenly people were like, this is kind of busted. Especially when you have like Temple of the Sun and Sushi's Library, and you have Imperial Text, the new ones that was released. You're kind of at some point just getting up to like, yeah, it's going to be, yeah. It's going to be pretty strong.
Okay, I think you still have good eyes and you've read the text.
Yeah,
and you know what to do. So
I
I'll let you do that because you're more in the lead of that. Meanwhile, I'll be talking about our sponsors because we see that bar. Ooh. I'm gonna try it again. Close enough. The bar, it's here. Yeah, my hand-eye coordination just ain't good enough, probably.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I'm old. I'll admit it. I know I'm getting slow. But still, we're going to talk about our sponsors. We're going to talk about the donations. Like you see all these sponsors here, down there. You got Samsung from the mobile phones. You got Surfshark for the VPN. You got the Lead Desk, but they're like literally desks. It's not like a gaming community or something else. It's like a table you can stand at and you can put it up and down and you can even sit at it. Amazing. Experion is the venue right here where we're hosting this event. Die Techniker, that's the German health insurance company. So we're taking the tax money of these Germans and putting it in the pockets of our pro players. We got Being Esports, this organization. that's helping us out organizing this event with the main man Gideon. He really helped us out a lot.
I really hope he drops by.
And last but not least, of course, we got World's Edge.
World's Edge, of course, being the developer behind one of the games. However, we have Byzantines versus La France.
Oui, oui, je suis une baguette.
Omelette de fromage.
Oh, you've seen Dexter. Yeah, his lab is very secure.
I'm old enough for that.
Oh, that's good to hear. So we need to announce the players. Do you want to do that? Or shall I?
I really hope Eliona is not listening right now.
Eliona is streaming himself, so
yeah, I know,
is
but
fine.
you know, the speakers. Yeah. In the left side, it is Louis playing as the French. And on the right side, it is DeMu, the bold man, playing as the Byzantine.
We are very hyped for this. That's for sure. We see already a system which is School of Cavalry coming up and the Grand Winery, because we French really like wine, so that suits us very good.
That is fair. Anything else exciting to talk about in the early game here? Not particularly. I mean, again, right, this is Lipany. The first thing that comes to mind is kind of like the position of the deer, where Louis' deer is actually quite far in the back. It's actually quite easy to wall off. Something we saw Waldemar do. I think it was in that one game on Lipany.
Yeah, we had some games on Lipany where the deer was like on top of the hill and completely surrounded by hills. So like with a wall of like 21 wood, you could easily wall it off. And then that's already gonna take so much more time to get it back to your base. You're delaying the opponent by so much. And then when those deer aren't at their base and they're not harvesting from them, you can't spend those resources in units like that. That's the main idea by those pro scouts, getting those deer in your base. Not only because you got safe food at your base, which is easily defendable, but also because it gives a lot of food in a short amount of time, because the gathering rate on deer is like 0.83 a second or something. Really high. So by getting all that food, you can put some villagers on other resources like wood and gold, and you can pump out a lot of units.
Yeah, we do also see the Limitane.
This special Byzantine spearman.
We actually need someone to correct us on how to say that properly, because I've been saying it like 4 different ways.
I don't know the pronunciations as well, but I got some messages like the way you say it, you know, it sounds so awkward. You're saying it completely wrong. So I'm just saying the special Byzantine spearman now, you know, just to cover myself up.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Anyways, they are out on the field right now, so they are going to be protecting the deer just a little bit. I mean, you have a really hard deer to protect here. It's all the way in the front, right? So it's not like you're actually going to be playing against, you know, French is not going to play, Byzantine is not going to be going for professional scouts themselves most of the time. So, you know, I think Louis is really happy with this spawn with the deer in front.
Yeah, and also really happy with the amount of gold he managed to gather. He got enough gold for the wheelbarrow, he got enough gold for the professional scouts. He already has one knight out, and he still has 100 gold on the back for the second knight. And that's like the perfect situation for a French player, because you like to have 2 knights, simply because you can one-shot villagers with double charge. We see the villagers going back to the gold again, because somebody's gonna change that special spearman away. And he's getting deer in as well, and he also has the wheelbarrow, so the villagers are really fast.
Yeah, and to be honest, like French and JD has like a really easy time to actually play this matchup. I feel like at times you kind of just go knight and then you pro scout and then just drop double archer range and get an early village. Oh, the accuratory defense! Oh my god, that timing on that one, that was a good one
right there.
In accuratory.
He's not letting his villagers down.
Oh my. But yeah, you have actually a rather easy time. You put on a lot of pressure, you do double archer range, and then you just start, you know, you just play the game like you normally would, and then you kind of just
it's classic French, like the 2C is not a matter right now. It's just making knights and archers, and you got so much food to work with. Your technology is so cheap. Deer scout getting caught out, but just drops the deer and says, I'll take somewhere else some food. I'm fine. But we also... Oh, that's some really aggressive scouting, taking those deer all the way in the corner of the map.
But yeah, I mean, we do have the chaffs coming in from DeMu as well, though. They are a little bit faster. They do a little bit less damage against the knights, though. And actually, like, one of the things that I think is quite underutilized as the English and longbows in general is actually using those spikes and or those pikes, whatever they're called, to actually be getting some night charges. The problem with it is the fact that they take so long to actually set up, so you got to be quite aware of how to use them, which is problematic.
Well, the nice thing about the javelin throws, like they're a really good counter against those archers. And once you get to the castle age, you can add camels into your composition, which debuffs those knights of the French player. It's just really tough. It's really difficult to get to that set castle age with all those knights running around your base. But one knight is running in the army of DeMu, getting a lot of damage. That's immediately 106 HP gone.
Yeah. It's going to be running a little bit away. Luckily for him, it's not necessarily that difficult to heal them back up. I mean, it's still not enough knights that is low enough to actually be going chivalry this early on. And you want to invest a lot of that resources. Remember, he didn't go for double archer range, he actually went for double stable. Which is going to be meaning that he needs to have a lot more gold, a lot more food to actually be pumping out the units he wants. Especially considering the fact that he is against this loueMT javelin composition that is going to be quite hard to deal with this knight archer. Now we'll have to see what we end up going for, though.
Yeah, DeMu playing really aggressive with all those loueMT, those special spearmen and those javelin throwers all the way into the base of loueMT. Not afraid of all those raids on the back, and immediately when I say that, I hear there's an attack notification. Let's hope for DeMu that it's just a scout or a couple of archers raiding. It's the Giljardi raid tactic again.
It is the Giljardi raid tactic, surely. Knights are just running around a little bit in their own base, not been able to put on as much pressure as I would have liked to see from Louis here, though. He did almost get that one villager kill. No, don't torch that sister.
Great value. That's a lot of stone gone, and not either getting the system to the 3rd level of water, which gives a lot of economy boost upgrade. Immediately a lot of villages popping in the TC and two-shotting that special spearman of the Byzantine player.
Archers. Killing some of the loueMT in the back here, though. Shield wall is going to be used, going to be taking a little less damage, going to take a little bit longer time to actually be killing these, though.
Yeah, so far as I know, if a special spearman from the Byzantine gets hit with any range damage, you first get the 30% defensive bonus and then the ranged armor bonus. So that's like a double protection right there.
Ooh, I'm actually not sure about the order to... I actually don't know what order things like that is actually calculated.
I know we got Twitch chat. Twitch chat can find that out. Somebody should know, but that's what I've been told.
As long as it's not like the Mongols improved, like the improved siege or Springle tech for Mongols on the pop. There was a bug where it was 100 times 100.
Yeah, I remember.
Like 25 times 25.
They were like in real life machine guns. It was crazy, you know. And the whole army was dead.
So, anyways, we have some good pickups. I mean, Louis hasn't been losing too many knights. Hasn't actually lost any of them. I think he's only lost 2 archers so far. So he's doing pretty well on that army count. Has been able to do quite a bit of damage, all things considered, back himself. But he has a very interesting pivot here, though, mainly because of the fact that he was cut off gold for quite a while.
Yeah, and then we're recognizing he's scaling off army-wise, and he went back to his base to get that defensive position, even getting towering, trying to pick off units where they can, but chivalry already getting in, so those knights getting 1 HP every second that are walking around, so like after 3 minutes they're to full HP again. Meanwhile, Louis pumping everything into units, taking all the techs that he can, and he's going on the offensive right now, trying to raid some villagers on the berries on the top side, also going with a big armor to the south side, trying to get that pincer attack, you know, that double attack on your opponent.
See if he can do that. Needs to be also...
Barry Bills!
Oh, he's going to be getting so much damage here, though. He's going to be getting 1 vil and some damage. Get out scot-free as well, though. Needs to be careful here. $10 did come in the prize pool as well. Level 4 cisterns at 12 minutes. I mean, that's pretty solid. I mean, the eco is pretty damn boosted up right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this rate, yeah, he has villagers on stones. He's actually actively gathering some stone to actually getting that. He's also actively gathering stone, so he can get some Auerslit outposts and some fortification. One knight finally going to go down here. First one of hopefully many for Demi.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of players do that as well. Like they're thinking about gathering stone for those cisterns, because if you get to the level 5 water level, you get a massive economy boost, and that's gonna do more for your economy than just getting a TC and scaling into villagers. So we see a couple of players going for the cisterns first and the second TC after that. I don't know the exact numbers, like probably someone can crunch those numbers, but it's gotta be worthwhile, because otherwise the players won't be doing it.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things we did see originally at the release of Byzantine as well was like Dark Age 2 Dark Age cisterns, which I'm kind of glad actually fell out of favor, because you know, it just felt so damn slow. But honestly, like there's still, like, if you get level 4 cistern at this point in the game, like you're almost up to like having Aachen levels of buff on your eco, which is really, really strong. Now, the level of multitasking that's happening as well for Louis right here is actually quite big, able to pick good fights all over the map, and maybe even getting some more damage done here as well as the raids are coming in. Did get one charge. I don't think he got a villager kill, but Knights are going to be able to find some javelin throwers. That's 4 of them going down, and the crucial thing is having those guys in numbers. That's what you want them to do. You don't want them to be falling in numbers.
And not only that, he's raiding the stone vills, he's killing another vill is getting potted the wrong way and will die. He got a vill on the gold, he got a vill on the berry, so slowly but surely Demu's bleeding, and meanwhile Louis is banking for castle.
Yeah, I mean, the bleed right now is just so hard to stop for Demu. There's so much idle, there's farms around this TC. Yes, that's good for him and all, but the problem as well is he's 10 eco behind, 11 eco behind now, and it's just... There's only 5 villagers killed, so it might have been maybe Demu skipping up vill here or there. I think he might have skipped 1 vill in total, but the French's villager production bonus is what is really getting Louis ahead here.
Well, Demu is taking the better fights, like the last couple of minutes. In destroyed value, we see already doubled the amount of destroyed value that Louis has.
It's cheating. It's cheating. If you go back a couple of seconds, he actually cancelled his Royal Institute, which actually counts to this destroyed value, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
so it's kind of cheating.
Okay, those are some technical knowledge you have, so that's why I'm really glad you're casting with me. You can correct me on these sort of things. But still, without the Royal Institute, he still has more destroyed value. And we did see a lot of units from Louis dropping down, and especially a lot of horsemen dying. Those horsemen really affected against those javelin throwers, because they really tanky and really cheap units. And immediately we see a lot of Castle Age upgrades coming in. We get the elite knights, we get the elite archers, and we have the guild hall scaling for us as well.
Oh. And Golden Horn Tower is going to go up. Has a lot of farms to be able to pump out a little bit of extra. I think you should be able to actually at some point now have consistent javelin production from both the cistern, or sorry, both the Golden Horn Tower. I mean, obviously you just get that, and also from one of the Merc houses. Might even be floating some olive oil at some point that it could potentially sell. I don't actually see a lot of people do that, except unfortunately Jiggly, who has been mentioned too many times on this stream at this point. Now, Teardrop is going to be coming up as well, though, so could this potentially be a little bit of a change-up into... I want to say change-up into Cataphracts, but I feel like the eco is just too bad for Demo right now. You just can't do that.
You can't go into Cataphracts, but the Theater Dark Shields also help the Special Spearmen. They also buff the Spearmen. They also buff another unit, if I'm correctly.
Limitane and Cataphracts and...
Varangian Guards?
Varangian Guards?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was
Varangians.
But still, like the juicy thing about the castle is for demos, like you can add in a couple of camels right now to debuff those Royal French Knights that are elite right now. They will do 20% less damage if a camel is staring in their face.
Needs to be careful there as well, though. Not too much happening at the time right now. Cistern did go up to level 5 as well, so has that full Cistern bonus. So should be able to get quite a lot of production out quite quickly. Just the problem is mainly actually getting the resources for it. He is quite far behind Louis. Almost feels like he has been on 2 TC, but again, it's just the French and the villager kills that he's actually been able to get. And also just chilling in the base around here. Just needs to be careful to take a good fight here though and not throw away the military numbers. He is behind on that front due to the fact that how Byzantine is just going to get so many units. A nice raid here in the back on the farms as well though. Needs to be careful. He doesn't have royal bloodlines on these knights, so they are quite squishy all things considered. And at the same time there's a fight and a push happening on the front for DeMu here though. Looks like he actually might be able to take this one.
Yeah, once again, we're just all over the place. We have raids in the back, a couple of knights running through those olive groves, denying the gathering of that food and olive oil. The olive oil, you can buy a lot of special units from it. You can buy javelin throwers, you can buy a couple of camel lancers, which are in the queue right now. 2 are on the field. Louis just, with all these small armies, all these small raiding parties, gathering stone for himself right now as well. He wants that keep to make these stables and arch ranges produce units cheaper than they already do.
And we're almost, I feel like this is a point. This is crazy, and I know a lot of people is going to call me crazy. I feel like almost Man-at-Arms from Louis would actually be really, really helpful. Should drop a market right now to just buy himself that keep so he can get that cheaper production in his own base and also the defenses. Is just running away with a bunch of villagers though, and it looks like if this actually does go down and is able to do that damage that they needs to do, the villager lead is going to be quite equalized.
Oh yeah, a lot of villagers going down now, and I don't mind transitioning into men-at-arms. Like, even though if you're French and you really like those knights and you've got these special bonuses for knights, your opponent is going to mass spearmen, javelin throwers, and men-at-arms is a great counter to that.
Yeah, villagers has gathered enough stone. Remember, keeps for the French is a little bit cheaper, so they can get that extra little bit of help as if they needed that. Just needs that. Just as game number 1, he needs something to slow this game down as much as possible. It looks like this is, however, going to be a 3-1 for DeMu. Or sorry, a 2-1 for DeMu. Not over just yet. Sorry, I'm calling out my predictions, not the actual result that is going to be happening. The keep is going to go up, but not without a lot of villager deaths.
Yeah, a lot of villagers dying right now. Villager amount equalized, but you have to keep in mind that the eco of the Byzantines is better simply because they have cisterns and simply because they're gathering oil as well from those olive groves. Killed a lot of villagers now diving onto the woodline, and more knights are even dying.
The last night. That was
He
the last
only has 4 archers left. That's all he got.
I mean, currently the only thing that is keeping Louis in this game is actually the guild hall. Is he just trying to go for a fast imp just to see if that is enough to actually keep him alive in this game?
Yeah, maybe roll here or there, and he's moving all the villagers to the wood line next to the keep, just for a little bit more security. But it's only 1,000 food in the guild hall as of yet, and it does kill.
Just used it.
Wait, oh, he used it. He's gonna then he wants to make units or markets to buy Imperial. Even that just feels terrible.
I mean, he's just running around here. See if a cliff can help him out. The wolf is not, though.
Oh, Lou was just a good position, raiding all over the place, but he just lost too many knights, too many units, and just against all those spearmen and javelin throwers, we do a lot of damage against those knights. But like 1 volley, 2 volleys, and a 3rd volley, and the knight is gone. Or killing a knight in 3 volleys is really powerful. That's the one thing, that's for sure. Meanwhile, we also got DeMu on the south side of the base of Louis, making rams like the Cairo Siphon, if I'm correctly. It has a big fire spewing out of it. So it's really difficult to repair a building next to it because all those villagers are just gonna get burned. And not like a roast, like a banter comment, but like literally fire in your face.
Literally fire in your face. Taking an okay trade there, all things considered, with the units that he has, but I don't know, this keep is probably not going to be staying up for too long. Lots of melee units, lots of spearmen, lots of limitane is torching this one down, as well as that little chiropractor is helping out quite nicely. However, standing his ground, boiling oil, has that come through? I don't think it has.
No,
it would be quite helpful in this scenario.
Yeah, no, on
the back. I don't think that one should be going through at all. But villagers on the back as well is targeted out. But now it is actually looking quite good for Louis. He's been able to clear up quite a lot. Villagers are being taken down slowly but surely, though. And Walala did fail in the end, but did buy him some crucial time. He still has actually left some deer underneath his TC, which is quite helpful. Insufficient stone, doesn't need to repair it anymore though, so it's not that big of a problem. Bigger problem is keeping all of the villagers alive. And right now DeMu might have been going too ham too much too early.
Yeah, DeMu lost a lot of armor when he was only fighting against 4 archers. But now Louis managed to remass a little bit again, but he also lost 36 villagers and his guild hall is nearly empty. So even if he manages to get DeMu out of his base, it's going to be really tough to recover.
This is just so strange to me how Louis is still in this game. I'm sorry, but like, what? I mean, it is just keeps being dropped there. Normally we'd be like, oh yeah, it's the Byzantines, like they're kind of just gonna be like, oh, they just have so much eco, they can just do whatever.
But Louis' eco is so low. He only has 49 villagers left. Food is running out. He's going on the bears all the way in the south. He's gonna be really open to raids. If DeMu like scouted or just thinks like, where are the farms? He should be getting food somewhere. He's gonna check those food sources and you're gonna lose and bleed even more vills. Like, he's so behind on eco. If you look at the resources per minute, it's like 700 food behind and 700 gold behind. It's 1400 resources a minute. That's just so many units coming out that he can produce.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, right? Like, we still haven't seen any arbitrary being swapped into. Like, we still haven't seen that small little tech switch. And we still haven't seen any Varangian coming out from DeMu either, which could be so nice to actually be having in these fights. Mixing in Limitane, mixing in jabs, like, sorry, Varangians. It would be so nice to actually be having that right now. And we still haven't seen a lot of these sacred sites. We still haven't seen that win condition being triggered. Should be able to decap, just not. Not gonna be able to decap that one. But the keep, again, right, just needs to be so careful, and Louis needs to have the awareness as well, not to be throwing away these knights. Again, there's been guild hall that has been keeping him in this game, but it also might have been the guild hall that has been preventing him to be winning this game. If he had royal bloodlines on these knights, these fights that has been happening over throughout the entire game would have looked so different.
It's crazy. Louis still trying to raid, trying to do some counter eco damage, trying to get back in this game. He only killed 8 kills as of yet, but we see the green dots running around the map as well. We see purple dots chasing after them. That's the 2 knights that I was talking about. The sacred sites are getting taken. It's a 3 relic against 2 relic split, but the sacred sites helps a lot. It's like 100 gold a minute for DeMu. That's a lot of resources to work with, and slowly but surely we see a transition into Imperial.
Yeah, and now the farms have been set up, so it's not a really big problem going to Imperial either. It's more a concern of having the space and time to do so. Do you see these archers on the front line here? Do you see a little bit of a switch up coming out from Louis here, which might be happening and helping out very shortly. But he needs to also get there in time, though. He's going to be having quite decent time. Oh my god, that has been so close. Oh my god.
You could almost feel the breath of those enemy units in your neck, but at the last second the archer died and the units went away.
Yeah, And now we are going to be seeing an attempted raid in the back here as well, though needs to be careful not to be charging into all of these loueMT. There's also crossbows has joined the party at a really decent number here as well from DeMu though. Still though, I don't know, the archers are still doing so good work though, taking pot shots, being able to get a couple of kills here and there, keeping the armies quite equal. Knights are not able to take the best of charges with that loueMT in number, in addition to the camel riders that is there, but there is something in the bank that is lurking for Louis here.
Yeah, and DeMu's going to the Imperial Age with the foreign engineering company, so that means he will be able to make that Royal Cannon. That's a special French unit that's really powerful. Meanwhile, he has 33 people on food, 33 villagers gathering food, but once those berries run out on the south side, and all those knights are getting poked, and they're staggered, and they're getting so much damage because they want to run away, but their legs are a little bit crippled. They don't know how to walk anymore, so it's gonna take a little bit of time. That's a lot of damage done again. But like we were saying, we don't know how many deer there are on the TC of Louis left, but it can be much. We're 27 minutes in game, we should be running out of food. We see farms coming up and on the left side of the base. So Louis doing his farm transition right now when DeMu is hitting Imp.
Yeah, it's just a question of how long will it take for Louis to be joining him there as well, right? He does have a little bit of gold left in his base, but he's actually not gathering from it, which is a bit problematic, right? He still hasn't, like Louis finally is dropping some walls here to secure up his own base. He still hasn't had the space. He does scout, he does see that the army from DeMu is pulling back here and knows that DeMu does need the Imperial upgrade to make an effective push here at all.
Yeah, we see all those elite upgrades coming in, and we immediately see 2,000 oil getting spent. We see a nest of B coming together with a Royal Cannon, so Siege is on the menu, boys.
Siege is indeed on the menu. We'll have to see as well. I mean, nest of bees, we saw it last game how well they work, but Royal Cannons coming through as well. They are, of course, the best cannon in the game with that shot. Has pulled out the guild hall as well now. Just needs to make sure that he can get the gold. Where is the gold, or so where is the red palace going to be dropped is the big question now. It feels like it just needs to secure a resource of the resource, kind of just jump frogging between the resources that he needs to gather.
It's so difficult. You really want those berries and the gold on the front where the fight is happening right now, but how are you gonna get that red palace up with all that army from DeMu right there? And not just any army, they're elite trained army. They're so stanky and they're so strong, and you have to kite back to get in some damage. And DeMu's regrouping his army once again to go back into for another push.
Yeah, elite upgrades only come through on the loueMT and the Varangians and the Camel Riders. So that does mean that a lot of these jabs that is on the back here should be good to go. Elite army tactics coming through as well, which should be able to withstand a lot of the tower fire and the keep fire that is coming through from the French.
Red Palace coming up at the big gold vein in the middle. That's a risky play. If DeMu sniffs that out, if he accidentally sees the village going, I think he does, because a couple of purple dots around those villagers. Oh, he saw it. That Red Palace won't be coming up, or at least at a hefty price.
Yeah, and Louis, like one of the things that I'm still so concerned about, that I still would have wanted him so badly to do, is drop a second TC. Help him out a little bit in that eco department. He had an eco lead for quite a while and he didn't use any time or any resources to actually further extend that lead. Now cavalry is protecting the Red Palace going still up here. They are just torching the keep in the picture-in-picture. They are just going to be torching that one down, it seems like, but not without a whole lot of loss.
Yeah, and that's the boiling oil we've been talking about at the previous game as well. When a keep has the boiling oil, you see those hatches open and people in it are like ready to throw the oil at the enemy, but he didn't have it researched. So with that big of a mass of melee units, you can just burn it down, and archers and archers trying to guide those loueMT, those special Byzantine spearmen, and trying to kill them as well as possible. There's just so much micro and APM needed for that.
Yeah, and he's even starting to drop barracks here now. I did see for a second there that the upgrade to what is it called? Feudal Spearman was in queue for just a little bit, but the cannons here is in the base of Louis. He should have a pretty damn easy time to take down all of the infrastructure. And you can see the damage the Red Palace is taking as well from his own cannons, and this is why these cannons are so insane. I mean, maybe he gets out of that one.
I thought he could have
does.
shut it down if he just stayed there and took the shot. But now it's gonna get repaired, and the Red Palace is gonna repair it with wood. You don't need any stone for that because it is a landmark. So those villagers will be able to repair it and just hop back in for those arbiter thrust arrows that they can shoot, and they do massive damage.
And interestingly enough, like Louis seems to be pretty set on actually making this spearman transition. That is so weird to me. How he wants to do that. He's upgrading them to veteran now as well. I mean, we are seeing a lot of horsemen coming through as well, seeing if he can actually be able to pop down and kill this cannon in the front here. I mean, it's one that could go down, but the problem is at least the javelins that's standing around them. He just can't get to them with all the archers, and there's just not enough horsemen, who is again of the veteran variety as well, so they're not even imperial. Now just still his keeps, they're just buying him so much time in the middle here, though making rallying to them quite harder, but I think there's a keep now that might be going down shortly in the middle there on that big sacred site.
Oh yeah, Louis doing a good job of delaying the game and buying himself time for a potential comeback, but it's so difficult. Only half of the amount of villages that Louis has in comparison with the DeMu, and with the military count also being almost triple of what Louis has. He's in such a terrible position.
Trying to see if he can sneak something in on the Red Palace. He's just going to be moving up his Sultanate to make sure that he targets fires that, but Louis is going to be target firing the keep in, or sorry, the cannon instead. Red Palace is going to be going down. The Gvills are going to be taking a lot of hurt. Has gotten some cavalry units on the farms there. Just going to be able to get a little bit of damage done.
Yeah, and all those villagers running away again, and Louis taps out. It's a win for DeMu, so it won't be a clean sweep. It will be 2 against 1, and we're going to go to game number 4.
Game number 4 indeed, and I don't know how happy DeMu is with that one. I think he is happy with that one. I mean, it is not the easiest matchup, but I think he still played it solid. I still think should be happy with that one, just standing in the ground, like standing there, not allowing Louis to slow the game far enough down to be able to get a comeback there. And yeah, I mean, the writing was on the wall for a little bit, to be honest.
Well, I think the opening from DeMu was really well. He tried to hit Louis with a couple of special spearmen and with the javelin throws, and he managed to keep Louis in his base. Then once they were coming in, Louis had enough resources to invest it in units and was pushing DeMu back, and he got some good raids. And Louis was in a position where it's like, okay, this feels really oppressive for Louis, and I wonder if DeMu's gonna be able to deflect it or gonna crack under this pressure. But somehow DeMu managed to pick off more and more units when they were going to castle, and managed to flip the game to his side again, and then he kept on pushing Louis, and Louis just kept bleeding units, kept bleeding villagers, and couldn't really push DeMu back anymore. And he bought himself a lot of time with those set keeps and with that Arbalest upgrade and with the Red Palace, but you kind of felt they were just going through the motions.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, all right, can I just see if I can just do something for that? And there's like, see if I can throw something there. It's like, wasn't that possible? Anyways, next map.
Next map.
Gorge with Ottomans versus Ayyubids.
Ooh, that's a spicy Civ matchup, to be honest. I can say that I played that matchup a lot. I don't know if you've got experience with it.
I don't. I do not have any experience with this whatsoever. There's a bunch of options there, though. I do think that going for logistics wing is a really good option here, potentially. And then you could go into some, potentially even a Gulam play. Could be a fun way to actually get this one going. We did see Louis, was it against Kiljardy? There was a Kiljardi game, there was a Basin game, where he did go for the Twin Minaret Madrasa. He had Pro Scout queued for just a little... No, he was Wheelbarrow he had queued, and then he cancelled it and went Fast Castle. So we could potentially see something very similar, but into Pro Scout instead, because I think this is a map that could actually be working on Twin Minaret Madrasa into Pro Scout, and then you kind of could potentially be dropping some military schools. We actually did see him in that game against Kiljardi go for military schools, the Vizier point, and that didn't build any Vizier. Like, it didn't build any
military schools. Yeah, that's true. But I think even if you go for the different landmark, you go for the gold landmark with the getting a message again. It's really slow message. It's
really...
only 500 to 10k. So we got the bar. And let me try again. I'm gonna do it. It's there. It's there. So I just have to line up my finger with Chris and Maneas, and then I'll be on the bar. And we have $7,479. And how many cents?
69.
How many cents?
69.
69, baby. And we only need a couple of more bucks before we get to the 10k. And getting to 10k, I never imagined it when we were first asked to organize the event. It was like, yeah, it would be fun if we get like a couple of bucks in and like a couple of good players in, and we'll just have a fun. But we managed to get in a lot of top players. We get to manage in a huge prize pool, and it's been way bigger than I would have ever expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's been... I still remember we were having some like discussion on like, okay, yeah, we're inviting the winner of the EGC Masters Winter, and we're like, okay, let's not do that because the prize pool is not big enough. And then BC signs up to play the qualifier instead of getting directly invited, which I didn't mind, to be fair. He is here though. He's waiting for who will join him in the grand finals in a best of 7, and so far we have a very exciting wing coming up here for DeMu.
Yeah, so in the south, in the color purple, playing as the Ayyubids, we got from Team Liquid. You know, he mentioned it all the time. It's DeMu.
The worst team in esports? No, best team.
Best team in esports. Best team in esports. We love those guys. And in the north, in the color green, playing as the Ottomans. It's Spinny. We're gonna. We're almost gonna go throw up if you spin us like that. But in the color green, in the north, playing as the Ottomans. From EL, we got loueMT, and he already has his first military school up. He's going for those Vizier points and the Twin Minaret Madrasa, like you said. So a potential Pro Scout play we got right here.
It is foreign gold. It is foreign gold though, so it could potentially be. And I'm actually kind of excited to see that, because that is something. When I saw that against Kiljardi, I was like, interesting. I might actually try that when I get back home.
That would be a fun play for sure. I don't know how much time we still got to enjoy it, because I don't know when the patch is coming up, but I'm expecting some funky stuff to happen with the Pro Scouts because they're so good. I'm assuming that the devs already noticed. But for the last couple of weeks, we can enjoy our Pro Scouts, we can enjoy our venison snacks.
We can indeed. Now, I mean, not going to be finding a whole lot out of this Spearman, like not going to be completely denying anything. But he is getting a response out of DeMu, which is what he wanted. Like, he forced him off of the berries that he is going to be having to deal with. And not getting those upgraded. He is going to be dropping immediately, though, an archer range and a stable. So it is going to be a whole lot of feudal here for DeMu, at least in the first couple of minutes. Because, remember, we are playing against this sneaky little Ottoman. And we'll have to see. I am looking at a lot of gold that is being banked up.
Yeah, professional scouts probably coming in. It's only 30 more wood. He already has enough gold, and after that he gonna get only 100 wood for stable, because Ottomans have a reduced price for their production buildings. They don't pay the full price. They only pay 66%, and they have a lot of villages, and the archers going out on the goal, managing to scare those spearmen away.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a fear for me. I mean, one of the things that is kind of, I don't want to say annoying almost, but it's like, it is annoying that you can't make a scout out of the military school, which makes sense, all things considered. But I still like this. I think Louis, I mean, you see Louis on the camera there taking a big stretch. I still like it. Like, I still like what he's trying to do here. I still see the vision, I should almost say.
Yeah. But if I look at the gold bank for Louis, it seems he's skipping on those scouts.
I mean, he cancelled it.
Yeah, he did.
Cancelled.
He's doing the Kiljardi thing, like thinking about all those upgrades and like, I could also go castle instead. But like the big difference, he already has a military school up, so he's getting those 3 units already in. He's getting the vizier points a little bit quicker than when you do if you don't have that military school. And I'm interested in how many units DeMu's gonna commit.
This. Is this like a mind game he's playing with us? Is it getting in our heads? Is it getting in DeMu's head? Is it getting in our head? Mr. Point. First one coming in. Shortly. Any second now. Drop down. Being updated. I mean, it was on Tolkien Hills.
Oh yeah. A lot of additional sheep and some mining speed, but he's getting denied from the gold mine as of now, so he needs to invest into a couple of units to get control of that mine of the gold vein back, and probably gonna need a tower as well, trying to lure the army of DeMu away so he could get some access to the gold again, because if you want to go to Castle, you at least need 600 gold to do that.
Yeah, and you also need to do something in Castle when you have... Well, you need some gold to do something in Castle at the same time as well. Mecha is going to be coming through the military school as well, though Sepai is taking a really good fight here, considering that there is a Desert Raider in the mix there as well, and the Sepai count is actually building quite strong here. Really, really good at fighting this. They are trying to target down the Desert Raider, and remember, they're good in these small little fights and skirmishes because they have that extra attack range, so it's easier to focus down a single unit that he actually wants to. And he has just bought himself so much time here, and he has not wasted a single second of it. It feels like immediately back on the goal, immediately back on track with this game plan.
Yeah, and DeMu as well, like he also just wanted time to go to his castle age and transition as well, because Ayyubids, they have such good castle upgrades in their House of Wisdom. You got the choice between the trade wing, you still got the military wing, you still got the eco wing he already took, so we still got the culture wing as well, and he's taking the culture wing with the dervishes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right, considering the fact that there is potentially the risk as well of Louis going with the Imams and getting 2 of those relics just instantly out. It's still, I mean, I don't know, Desert Raiders isn't better here either. So yeah, it's kind of just like the best choice you can possibly have. And like Sepai is doing a really good job here as well. Like they're quick, they're doing damage, they can potentially pop the fortitude. Not that easy when you are playing versus these horsemen. And look at just like the beta going back and forth there. There was also 50 bucks that came in from someone. I should probably actually start calling out the names of people. Anyways.
Be a good thing, but meanwhile we see Louis going up with the Mammoth Imperial Armor, the MIA. That doesn't mean he's missing, but it does mean he gets free siege. Probably gonna be some Mangonel or Springles action. That's gonna be the choice of Louis himself, and after that I'm hoping he's gonna take some stone and add in even more military school, because military schools are kind of like the scaling for the Ottomans. Like the town centers are for Abbassid. Ottoman really likes to military schools to get even more units out.
Yeah.
And then once again in the middle we see the Sepai chasing those Desert Raiders and horsemen again. Sepai, light melee cavalry, but a little bit better than your regular horsemen, a little bit more expensive as well. They got the special ability Fortitude, that means they have a lot more attack speed, but they also get increased damage from melee opponents, so they're really, really effective against ranged units or villagers.
Looks like he wants to dive into that one. Dervish is immediately out on the field. Immediately splitting up as well, trying to get those relics as quickly as possible. So is Louis, but I do think that it should potentially even be a 4-1 split this game. It's going to be quite nice for DeMu as well. Has that AoE healing, could potentially be getting that again from the Ottomans, although it's going to be quite late one, which I don't think is something that should happen. Anyways,
we heard the first relic being picked up and being brought back past those servers really fast. Wall, and he's chasing the army away, but will it be enough? Because there's still a lot of units right there. We got a matter buffing those supplies by taking out the first Desert Raider, and the difference is running past, and he manages to get away.
Wall happening on the other side as well. Knight.
Oh, that was so close. Almost a knight from loueMT went to the other side. He almost betrayed our loueMT player.
Almost close there though. I mean, so far, Relics has been denied slowly but surely. Is looking to see if he can find it. Where did he sneak by though? He is getting escorted back, so it's at least 3 relics for Louis so far, and not a single one for Louis either. We can see him even scouting in the top side there. He's even looking for where it is.
Yeah, almost 3 relics for DeMu. The other 2 relics, one is protected by units, and then it's gonna be attacked right now. So that's the Dervish being attacked. Another wall, the matter blocking the knight, and oh, once again it just gets away just in time. But still taking down the Dervish is gonna be so difficult, because those Dervish, they even have 4 legs just like a horse, but they run so fast. Their movement speed is so high, even when carrying a relic. They even got the bags on the side. They got so much weight to carry, but they don't manage to get away in the end.
In the end, not happening. Dervish is going to be taken down as well. At least for the time being, pushed off at least the sacred side though. However, there's a lot of siege now slowly but surely building up for Louis here though. Is going to maybe have a good time here, though he's not going to have that one just yet.
Almost those 3 knights spotting out those villagers that went onto there. If they just went to the right side a little bit more, all those villagers would have been exposed. But instead, going to the south side where the wall is coming up, and that wall is gonna be finished before they arrive.
Yeah, sneaking by that one though. Maybe I think. Even going for the mosque here though, because it did end up being that 4-1 split as predicted. I'm good on my relic predictions. Now, is some of these villagers going to be spotted on the way out though? It's going to be deterred away. Mill is going to be spotted, so knows that something else at least happening. However, if he can do something about it is a different question. Janissaries are going to be started to be transitioned into though, and Janissary Sipahi is one of those crucial compositions, very similar to how horsemen arbitria work for the French.
Oh, and like the observers pointing out, we see the military school on screen. I don't know what the military school is exactly right now, but I'm guessing it's already 2, because we have one next to the MIA, and we also have one on the top side. And slowly but surely, Louis is setting up for late game.
But yeah, remember, one of the things we often talked about, I remember actually having a lot of casts where I actually talked about this, is that Ottoman's economy, like in general, feels really bad, but then you realize that the military schools is actually an economic building. It's free resources, right? And that's the thing. Like, they're balanced around the fact that it takes about 4 times longer to make one of the units, so the resource per minute is like the same. Yeah,
and with the blacksmith buffing, the production speed from those military schools and even regular production buildings, it's a nice economic boost. We see the camel lancers going into that wood line. They're eyeing for that one field, they're chasing away. They're putting their lancers away, but they'll get it. And it's 1 villager down just behind the twin minaret madrasa.
Yeah. And we need some fertilizer somehow for those berries that infinitely grows. Okay, that was a little bit dark.
No. I understood the joke, and I agree completely with you. You know, it's the same with getting food, like ham or burgers or something. It has to be produced somehow, and you know, it's just some has to live and some don't.
Yes. Yeah, so for the time being, I mean, there's still not a lot of walls going up. There's still just raiding happening all over the map, right? Sipahi. Remember, Janissaries and this Mangonel, when that count starts actually to build up properly, then you can start getting some return damage as well. Knights finding a lot of damage in the back of the base here as well, though, for Louis. I mean, needs to be careful here, though. I could have, if I had paid a little bit more attention, could have gotten 2 very easy villager kills here. Not going to be the choice, however. Now, I mean, still not a secret site secured for anybody here, though, as lots of attempts has been tried. None has been successful at the time being. Currently just running around and seeing what they can find and just buying time. Janissary Company was actually picked up, though, so the timing here could be found by Louis, but it's quite scary, all things considered.
I mean, well, we see Louis going out on the south side, taking some deers on and an outpost on those deers as well, gathering more and more food, because we did in the bro scout, we're taking it the natural way, the old school way. We'll walk up to it and we will have to work for it. Meanwhile, we get an engagement in the middle. That's a big knight and spy ball against all those camel launchers. A lot of Janissaries behind the Springwell Tower, also putting in some work, trying to chase that army away, and we don't see any mangonels as of yet, but they're rolling in right now. Don't see greased axles right yet, so they're a little bit slower than your average siege engine, but slowly but surely Louis is gonna press DeMu.
So actually one of the options you could have right now is you could even pop Fortitude if you absolutely need to, but I don't think it's a good timing. Janissary is going to be starting to have that unleashed power, though. It's fortified and upgraded springled tower here, going to be super strong, targeting down the Mangonel in the back, I think. Look at this, it's just taking so low. Still not burning yet, but it's still doing a lot of return damage. However, it's finally going to be put on fire at least. There's another tower in the back. Mangonels trying their best. It's going to be used in that repair. Could use that repair on the Mangonels. Is absolutely right, Asgard.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of Springwell Towers trying to defend the base, but we don't have any walls as of yet, so those villages on the gold vein on top are pretty exposed. They're gonna get cut off from the base. The army of Louis gonna be in between of those set fields and the army of DeMu, which is a really dangerous situation. If Louis manages to scout it, if he sniffs it out, if he's realizing there has to be gold taken on a different position than next to the base, he's gonna search for them and really vulnerable to get taken down.
Yeah, look at the villager distribution. There's nothing on food, and now as well Advanced Academy has come in as well, so it's going to be making it pretty easy to make more Janissaries. Going to be pumping up those pretty quickly as well, but now we actually have the attempted
like
heist.
I said, the gold vein. The gold vein is getting attacked.
Sir, the gold vein.
That's a lot of villagers going down. That's like 10, 12. We still got 5 in the tower. The army of DeMu not reacting as of yet. They're sacrificing these poor workers, these worker class men, so these worker class villagers will not get out. They will be sacrificed for the greater good, just for the life of DeMu.
Yeah, now the thing that DeMu has been waiting for quite a while, it is archers, it is Mangonels. That's the only way you can possibly deal with the Janissary mass and the Sipahi. You just need something in the front to actually be tanking. I think even one of the things you should be adding to the composition as right now is just a bunch of desperate wall walls, if you can get away with them. Because remember, they heal, if I remember correctly, they heal more when they hold a relic.
Yes, they do. That's true. But I don't know, like the mangonels from the Ayyubids, they got these the Stockholm for stone or fire. Which one would you like in a direct fight?
I don't know. Just need a front line. Just need something to tank for these archers, the crossbows, and this. And he's doing that, right? He's adding what he needs to be adding right now, which is that front line. He's still building up the mangonel count. I still think you should maybe go up to like 4 mangonels potentially even.
Yeah, I could easily do it. We see 1 spearman, and that's a big cavalry mass, and we see some 6 golems, and we see 8 lancers, so he's got some kind of mid shield, but it's, you know, it's not that beefy. And meanwhile, the musketeer relics are getting burned down. The army of DeMu is gonna get in. They will be on time to at least tickle that cavalry raid. No fortitude being popped down because this 50% attack speed will also apply to the torches, and Musk will live another day, and he's not gonna get killed.
There's a big boom boom. I really just want to hear it. I'm kind of jealous of the crowd being able to like hear the boom boom. Oh, there's a single lancer that's actually going to be finding a couple of mangonels here though. Should be able to take maybe one down.
At least, the villager that was working on the tower, switching from his job, trying to repair the mangonel right now. But a lot of more lancers coming in. These mangonels are out of position, but then we does not know where the rest of the Lewis army is. The great bombers in the shadows, hiding for the side of those sad lancers again, and the lancers are going home.
Yeah, it is a great bomber that is coming out. Still off the castle age variety though. Remember, it even says on the tooltip, when choosing this point in the castle age, it does a little bit less damage. It's a little bit weaker, but still, I'm quite scared for the upcoming fight. Remember, there's so much AoE damage from both of these sides. DeMu is still not adding to that mangonel count that he needs to, and Louis looks like he just kind of wants to go for something a little bit spicier. Maybe just playing it safe in the semifinals. Remember, winner here will go to the grand finals. We'll be playing against BC, and we'll finally have the Louis Beastie match we've always wanted on LAN.
Yeah, we see this cavalry army, seeing all those archers and crossbowmen, and Louis just running away with them. But you should say you could engage that because you got the counter unit, but he wants to go Imperial first. He doesn't want to throw away a whole army before he gets all those juicy upgrades. Those mangonel shots do massive damage, even though they are Sapari. And he still has 3 sacred sites. He's putting fortified outposts on them as well with spring order placements. He's taking every advantage that he can get.
Yeah, I feel like this is one where you actually just go for the Seagate Castle in the middle. You don't necessarily need the Istanbul. It's always fun to have the Istanbul Palace because you can suddenly get suddenly have so much more siege. Istanbul Observatory. My bad, but still going to be coming that one up. So the problem for DeMu is though he has a very slow moving army, only 6 camel lancers, so he can't really do anything though.
Yeah, I still got 6 minutes to decap a sacred site. That's something that should be doable because you know Louis, once he hits it, he will back off a little bit to get all those Imperial upgrades, to upgrade all those units to the elite status. But DeMu doesn't know it right of now. Another charge in of all that cavalry. It's mostly archers and crossbows in the mix, but a couple of spearmen and gulems managed to chase them away. And Louis can't really surround them and can't really commit in that fight.
Yeah, one of the things I am a little bit worried about for Louis' side though is the fact that he only has 1 method. He only has 1, right? And I think Sass might disagree with me on this one. At this point in the game, you kind of just have 5 military schools anyways because you're Imperial. Just leave one of them on a mecha. And then you suddenly have like 5 of them, and you're like, okay, cool, now I have 5 of them, so I can actually throw them away.
Yeah, it's always good to have like 3 or 4 metas in the bigger fights. Like early on, you're gonna need the units, and if your meta gets sniped, it's really bad for the Ottoman player, but you can easily micro it around because you don't have that many units in the fight as of yet. But in this bigger fight, where you're like managing so many stuff while fighting, it's just okay to have like 3 or 4 metas, because if one of 2 gets sniped, which happens, you still got the buff, and the buff is really, really useful.
Yeah.
It's raining fire down uptown tower. It's a magic specialty taking down those buildings real quick.
I mean, there's raids happening everywhere on the map though, attack notifications coming in everywhere. Siege going to be the one thing that is together at least though, but the mangonels are firing down. Should be an easy pick up this though, actually taking down the mass of Louis. However, there's still knights in the base of DeMu here though. Everything is just happening everywhere all at once. We'll have to see another flank, another group coming in. The siege from Louis still has not really been touched though. Trying to see if he can do something though. Mangonel's coming down, another shot there. Mangonel's going to go down for DeMu. This last hurrah is going to be taken down by the supplies. The great bombards are shooting in the back, but barely had an effect in this fight. Some of the mangonels on the right-hand side, though, is going to be taken out here, though, but is going to be defended, and DeMu knows it. Louis is going to be joining, and look at that fist bump. He is happy.
Oh man, it was some amazing games. It was crazy close, but Louis taking it to the finals by winning 3-1 against DeMu, and I already can imagine the crowd just shouting Louis, Louis, because we're all excited about our plays, and I would have been fun to have DeMu in the. Yeah, we hear them. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is interaction. This is bonding. You know, this is having everyone into the game. We see Louis laughing about it because he hears all the audience, all the people just shouting their name, just being excited. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the entertainment.
All right, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, sure. We really would appreciate a microphone for Deep Shine, because he will be our translator. So where do we all stand? I think maybe it's good if Louis goes a little bit this way. Yeah, and we're all in the picture. So Louis, first of all, congratulations with your win and making it all the way to the grand finals.
恭喜你进到决赛。
好 ，Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, making it to the finals, what's going through your mind? Which emotions are you experiencing right now?
晋级到决赛，你现在心中的想法是什么？你现在什么感情流过你的心坎中
比较开心。
？Happy?
Yeah, happy.
Ah, that's nice to
就这
hear.
样
啊？
不讲谢谢
啊？
多讲一些。
没有了，就还
没有
开心。
就开心。
Yeah, just happy.
Pure joy.
Yeah, very joy, very happy. We can see it on your face. We can see the twinkle in your eyes, and it's amazing feeling just making it to the finals, being here. At some point, we heard the crowd, the audience shouting, "Louis, Louis!" They're like, "What does that do with you?"
看到这边观众对你这么热情，然后为你欢呼，你有什么想法吗？
我很开心有人为我欢呼，但是就比较害羞。
你本来担心没人为你欢呼吗？你本来会担心没人为你欢呼吗？
那倒没有，还好吧。
Okay, he's very happy that people are cheering for him, and it's a bit shy as well, like a bit embarrassing.
Of course, like being in the spotlight is a little bit awkward if you're not used to it. And Louis is just such a nice guy, and I can imagine him being nervous about it. So let's go to the games. Can I have the draft? Yeah, the draft is still on screen, so that's really nice. So first game, we got Delhi versus Malians on Basin. Is that a matchup you like? Was there something you were worried about?
第一局是马利对德里，德里对马利，你是德里。这个对局你怎么看？就是这是你想要的对局吗？
我其实是想碰到罗斯的，但是没有碰到。德里打马里也是能赢的。
Okay, he has actually hoping for Rus.
I was hoping for Rus.
But he didn't get Rus, but Mali is also playable.
Oh, okay, and can he explain why he was hoping for Rus?
你为什么觉得想要看到罗斯？
德里打罗斯比较好打，大象比较好打，其实。
Okay, he thinks Delhi has good matchup into Rus. Elephants works very well against Knights.
Oh, okay, that's nice to hear. So let me help you just a second because we have a little bit. Yeah, that's better.
Oh.
Yeah, we also have like the technical side of interviews. So after that, we get the Zushi versus Rus game. So it's a classic fast castle Rus into a horse archer. What's your favorite way of dealing with that strategy?
好，第二局这个朱熹对罗斯，他打这种标准的罗斯直城，然后马弓。你最喜欢的应对方式是什么？
出金马多拉墙多修塔，然后如果是朱熹联动可以猛出 nest of。Yeah.
You said the standard response is more knights, more walls, more towers.
Yeah.
But if you are Jushi, you can do nest of beasts.
Yeah, that's true. We all saw that coming, at least to the walls, and we really enjoy your walls. Like, you see all these lines popping up on screen, and they always have like these angles, and they're going everywhere. And we also saw some vertical walls between two wood lines, like in the middle of the map. Same for the Delhi against Malian game, where we saw this very long wall built on a trade post. Like, could he explain why he's building those walls on these unexpected places? At least for us, it's unexpected.
就是你在这集局里面，有些地方拉了很多很有意思的墙，就是在两个小树丛之间拉了短墙等等的，就是这些墙要分享一下你的想法啊，就是对这些墙的看法是什么？
资源点和资源点之间可以拉小墙，可以省大量拉墙所需的资源。然后你拉地图中间一段很大的墙，可以阻止对面拉墙把他的基地围起来。
Okay, like cheap walls between resources is just good. They're cheap and they're easy, and like these walls also help. Also block the opponent from walling themselves.
Yeah, you can secure certain parts of the map, so you're better aware where the opponent's army is, where the enemy is walking. So it's easier to defend against raids. That's for sure. They also buy a lot of time, so walls are really useful. We see that a lot at Louis, also with Wham. It's also a player that's famous for walling. Next game, France against Byzantine. For us, it was really like back and forth. We felt like in the beginning, DeMu was pushing you into your base. Then there was like a portion of the game where you were ahead because you had the deer income and you were raiding all over the places. And then somehow it felt like you were losing a lot of knights all over the place. And damage managed to pin you down in your base. How did you feel? What was the critical moment in that game, in your opinion?
OK， 所以第4局是这个法兰西对阿根廷。那刚开始看起来你很优势，就是一直在对方家里附近到处骚扰、到处杀东西。可是到某个时间点，突然好像是路吃完还是怎样，就翻盘了，就是被压的，怕你被压在家里。就是你觉得这一把的关键点是什么？
我上门上太快了，没足够的兵就输了。上门晚一点就赢了。
Okay, he thinks the critical thing is he basically went up to castle too fast.
Went to castle
if
too
he just
fast.
slow down a little bit, have more units, he will win the game.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's why we like to talk with those pros, because they have these insights we lower level players don't have. So it's always good to learn from that. At some point, when DeMu was diving your base, you had a keep and you had the town center, and you only had 4 archers and nothing else. And DeMu had like a massive army. But you still kept us in the game for a very long time. Did you feel that you could make a comeback, or was this like a mind game like DeMu was a little bit older than me, I'm gonna tire him out or something? What was the idea?
需要翻译吗？
不用，我就是有点不想退，对，然后在台上多待1秒是1秒这样的。
Okay, he just doesn't want to leave. Like he wants to stay on the stage 1 more second if it's still worth it.
Well, it's good to hear you enjoying your time on stage, and at the grand finals you're gonna have that opportunity again. Of course, we're gonna have a little break in a second, just so we can recover a little bit. So I'm gonna keep this short for the last game. The last game we had Ottoman against Ayyubid. It felt you were on control like the entire game. It just felt like you were going through the motions, very methodical, and like from beginning to end, it felt like you were just gonna take the win all the way home. I don't know how you experienced the game.
这个对抗我打过非常多，只需要升到3门，你造军校，对面没法任何补经济的方式，他开 TC， 你造军校有更多的兵。所以只需要出骑士、肉马还有火枪，如果对面出叉子，他就出兵种克制，这样打，很好打有过。对。
Okay, he said he played this matchup a lot of times, so like it's very easy. You just go up to castle and then make military school. There's nothing they can do. If they make TC and stuff, you just make knights and make janissary and just kill them. If they add spears, you just add archers. It's easy.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear. He has so much experience in the matchup, and I hear these quotes like they're also like State always says, "Yeah, just don't die," and Louis like, "Yeah, just kill them," and that's how you win games. Amazing. I'm not gonna bother you anymore because you're gonna need some time to have a little break, recover a little bit, and prepare for those grand finals. Once again, congratulations and thanks for your time for this interview.
Thank you.
So for production, we're gonna go on a little break so we can prepare for said grand final. And I'm gonna try this again. Boop. Close enough. 7,519, and it's gone. And we will never see it back. So grand finals gonna be in like maybe 15 minutes break or something. And we can recover a little bit, and we'll hope to see you all again. We've been enjoying the time at the Garrison very enormously. We're very excited, and we'll hope to see you back in like a little bit.